Halloween, ghostly shadows, midnight scene, creeping closer, unseen. It's a spooky, scary Halloween. Black cats crossing in the street, jack-o'-lanterns at our feet, witches cackle, goblins scream, dancing in the misty steam. In the shadows, something stirs, eyes aglow with whispered words. Creeping close, you'll feel the chill. Halloween's got spooky thrills. Spooky, scary Halloween. Echoes howl and monsters lean. Ghosts and ghouls all reconvene. It's a spooky, scary Halloween. Fog rolls thick, the moon's blood red. Skeletons rise from the dead. Rattling bones and hollow laughs join the night's eerie crafts. They'll haunt you under pale moonlight. In haunted towns they stalk the night. Wicked whispers, a witch's brew. Halloween's come to frighten you. Spooky, scary Halloween. Bats take flight, the dead convene. Wolves all howl, their eyes agleam. It's a spooky, scary Halloween. So grab your mask and trick or treat. In haunted houses, dark and neat. The night is young, the scare serene. On this spooky, scary Halloween.
Na 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 na. Fake smiles and the spotlights glow. Truth gets blurred when the hype runs low. Say it's gold, but we see right through. Another story spun if only everyone knew. Hey, the truth getting out, that you've been feeling clout. Oh, we know the games you play. Truth gone missing, washed away. Big talk, but we see the game. All for clicks, just the same old fame. Real words, that's what we crave. But honesty's out while the hype gets paid. Push the button, yeah, sell it out for favor. Fingers on the button, truth come with layers. For real, you will find nothing's as it seems. Hyped up, lies and manufactured dreams. Push the button, let the game be raised. Dealing in deception till the page is clicked. Sold out stories for that sweet invite. Trade your words for glitter and hype.
Yo, Snoop K on the mic. This one for all my time displaced geisha bitches. Yeah. Know we back in the day, 16th century, Sengoku era, straight feudal energy. Samurai on the rise, Ganyo in the mix. Oda, Tokugawa fixing conflicts quick. Ninja creeping in the shadows, silent and swift. Castles fortified, loyalties to give. Bushido cold, honest in the heart. Blades clashing, battlefields to art. Sengoku times can be wild and crazy sizzle. Samurai life, it's the warlord fizzle. Feudal Japan in the house like a drizzle. History in the rhyme, feel the ancient sizzle.
Before we begin, what do you think of my totally accurate samurai attire, right? Welcome aboard. As you can see, we're Halloweeny here. We've got the overlay still going because I know what I'm doing here, you know. I have all the best skills running a live stream. But anyway, we got the little circly doodad thing going on here, and you might see this crazy thing from the UN up here on the screen, and the lovely Miss Nerdigans is in the back here, and she's here to help me talk about this. Hello, Miss Nerdigans.
Hello, Black Shirt Army, and yes, I'm probably the only person that will remember this.
I wear my shirt every time, okay?
I'm not today, but that's because I've been either recording content or going through Pokemon leaks for the past, almost 24 hours since the new ones dropped, which we'll be talking about later.
It's a bit of an obsession.
There's so many. Oh my god, the new batch of leaks that dropped. there's some really, really good stuff up in there, but we'll get to that. But this doesn't surprise me what we're seeing here. But I feel like this new push here with the UN, what they're doing here, is probably to deflect from what's happening in the Middle East specifically, because they got busted, almost a year ago now? Almost a year ago now, when the Palestinian branch of the UN got busted funding Hamas and helping the terrorists, so to speak. So yeah, I feel like this is a deflection. The UN is a joke. I don't take them seriously, partially because of that, for one thing. And the other thing is, just go look at the countries who are on the Human Rights Committee and on the Women's Rights Committee. And yeah, that's the other reason why you should not take them seriously. They don't do anything. When it initially started, it was a good thing to have, but now they are just a joke.
Yeah, for sure. That's absolutely true. And again, like, we're just circling kind of the same problem over and over and over again. It's these people that want to control society as opposed to just live in it. You know, public servants don't want to be public servants anymore. They want to be public rulers. They want to be in control of everything.
Well, they want to feel like they are doing something important. They want to feel like they have a purpose with their power.
Well,
But you got to remember, and this is why I say look at the countries on these committees, is that these are representing countries that have no human rights and have no women's rights. They violate them on a regular basis. So it's like,
yep.
You are worried about fictional characters' rights when your own countries don't have any rights, and they are living in huts in some cases. So why are you going after these countries when you got your own problems? Don't you think you should be worrying about them? Or in the case of, I think it was a decade ago when this happened, when the peacekeepers were pillaging people in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, now I know. Sakuromita's is here and says, now I know why Trump wants to have America leave the UN. Yeah, makes perfect sense. But you're right. It's going to keep continuing, though. That's the thing, is what I want to stress here, is it's just going to keep continuing. We're not at the end of it yet.
But I do want to stress, stress this, though, because people are like, oh, the UN's going to try and take over the U.S. No. The U.S. has something in the Constitution that prevents the UN from even trying to pull a stunt like that. So they could try all they want. But nah, our forefathers were smart. And also our politicians in the past that added amendments were smart. So they can't pull any crap like that. Yeah, again, see, the UN got busted a couple of weeks ago for spying for Hamas and Hezbollah. See my point exactly. They are doing this to deflect from that.
Right. And yeah, it's true. We let a lot of things slip. And you know who's not letting things slip? The Japanese. They decided to erect some signs because streamers are a bit of a problem. And so they say that they put these signs up at not performance areas, like religious areas and places that are not supposed to have people dancing around. And it says, no circus performance here. Japan is not a theme park. And then this one was a little blunt.
That's going a little too far.
This was a little on the nose. We can see that clearly the citizens of Japan are yellow, as you can see here. The fox is yellow and the squirrel is yellow. The Russian bear is white. Who might be the monkeys?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of those monkeys is Johnny Somali, who got arrested in South Korea and is now being watched and monitored.
That's the only reason why he's alive, is because somebody stepped in.
Yeah, he's lucky.
Yep.
He played a stupid game, many stupid games, and he's winning his prizes right now.
The Koreans are not like the Japanese. The Japanese are non-confrontational. They will not jump up and cause a commotion they are like they have this polite sort of saying, it's sort of you go along like societal cohesion. In Korea, that's not the case. The American influence is quite obvious, especially when you see those guys running up to confront him. Like one dude just ran at Johnny and like did that like cartoon leap in the air, put his legs ahead of himself, and just like flew leg first into this guy. It was great. It was
Hey,
right out of a cartoon.
so Mama ain't just fiction. Like if you've read Weak Hero, which is a like a gang based mama, and it's really good if you haven't read it. Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen in Weak Hero.
Yeah, he just ran through the air and just jumped, and then his
Yes!
legs went forward, and he took out Johnny. Took him right in the chest.
Dude, that's literally something straight out of Weak Hero.
Yeah,
Literally.
and that's why
You don't mess
Johnny's
with
still
Korean
alive.
delinquents. That's why you don't mess with if you do not mess with Korean delinquents like that. They will fuck you up. They will. They do not mess around. They're not like Yakuza, which are just like you don't fuck with Yakuza, but they are more discreet with how they fuck you up.
Yes.
They won't do it in public. They will do it behind the scenes. Korean delinquents, from what I've seen though, and yes, I know I'm basing off Mama and stuff like that, but no, Korean delinquents, from what I've seen, they don't fuck around like that.
No.
They do not give a shit. They will do it in public if you piss them off.
So Johnny, one of Johnny's guys was showed up with a sword after this guy jumped at Johnny. So one of Johnny's supporters shows up with a sword. I don't want to show it here because like I don't know if YouTube will hit it for being violent because it's a street fight, you know. So he shows up with a sword. He shows up with a sword, and this guy apparently he touches the kicker's girlfriend somehow. And this guy comes completely unglued, like he's screaming in English at the top of his lungs. "You touched my girlfriend, you motherfucker! I will kill you!" And it, and he's like horror movie screaming it at this guy that's like this far from his face. He's like, it's like holy.
Dude, I'm telling you, Weak Hero is not just fiction at this point. It is based
real
off
life.
real life.
Anime is real life.
Mama is real life at this point. It really is.
And sometimes anime gets a little too real.
Yeah, but yeah, this is really, really scary. So the dub actor David Wald told fans on Twitter that for the last 5 years, that Crunchyroll was opening their private mail and threw away letters and passed out, and he included items to their staff. That's a really scary thing. One thing that's scary, and two, that's actually illegal. And I'm hoping that he reported it to the postal inspector, because that's, if you've ever are in that situation, it's a federal crime, and you have to report that to the postal inspector. You don't go to USPS, you go to the postal inspector. But from what I saw, it was like within the first 24 hours, he like emailed them and everything when he found out, and he hasn't heard back from, he still hasn't heard back from Crunchyroll, even after Crunchyroll released their statement saying that they are basically investigating it. Stop. You got to get the you got to get the postal inspector involved in this kind of thing. You do. This is when you say, nah, we're not going to screw around. We're going to get the postal inspector involved. We're going to get authority. Well, with red tape, you never know how long it's going to take, though. You got to get higher ups involved, though. But I will say this, though, David did do the right thing by taking it to social media. This is what you do use social media for, because otherwise this would have kept going on, and Crunchyroll probably would have still kept getting away with it. But the other thing, though, that Crunchyroll did say in their statement that, you know, pops into my mind is that this is why, you know, you get your fan mail sent to like your agents and stuff like that. Yeah. Why you're having it sent to Crunchyroll is probably a really questionable thing. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. You should be getting all your fan mail sent to you directly. It makes no sense. Or like sent to a PO box or something. Don't have it sent to Crunchyroll. That's a bad idea.
It feels very silly. Yes, you're right.
That's just asking for trouble. It really is.
Well,
Uh,
and so this situation, right? So as we're going down through this whole thing, we need to remember that Crunchyroll is the largest anime supplier as far as name recognition goes right
yeah, in the West.
now. Right. You get across the date and timeline there on the Pacific, it is Crunchyroll left, right, up and down and backwards. You thought Orange was a problem when Naruto was big? Well, on the other end now, Crunchyroll is. And the problem I have with this is that Crunchyroll, as a corporation, should not be allowing their talent to be receiving fan mail, period.
Yeah. And I gotta wonder if Funimation was doing it too.
I think it should be in your contract, honestly, to not do that because the problem is that anime is made up of a lot of people who have very different views of the world. There are people who are very normal and can get along in life very well, and there are folks that want to make sure that they have the power of God and anime on their side when they strike down their foes. And one thing that needs to be stressed is that as a voice actor, you uniquely are very different than a physical actor. So
Yeah.
people will see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator movie and they'll go, ooh, ah, oh. And then they'll see him in the Commando movie and they'll go, ooh, ah, oh. But the problem is that they'll hear your voice in one show and it's attached to a character that they already have an attraction to. And so now your voice is coming out of that face, not your face.
Hmm.
And so that's why the fan mail is dangerous because they're not writing fan mail to Stephen Blum. You know, they're writing fan mail to Spike Spiegel. You know, and that's why I think they should not allow it at all. It should be in your contract that when you receive letters, you are to turn it into Crunchyroll and they are to observe it legally, then destroy it. If there isn't a threat, if there isn't drugs, if there isn't some type of thing that's not supposed to go in the mail in it, then it gets destroyed. I'm sorry. Say all you want to do in an email. Say all you want in a Twitter post. Do not send physical mail to actors. It's always a bad idea. Any public figure. Just don't do that. Well, you know, Spencer, it's one of those things where, like, we don't live in 1992 anymore. The guy, Peter Samedi, he runs Alterna Comics, and a guy sent him a bunch of broken glass and a broken light bulb socket. Now, it was already broken because it was glued together into, like, some figure in there, and then it was put inside of, like, a metal bread box that was then put inside of a Amazon box, right? The Amazon box. And so when Pete shook it, it sounded like something that could do you harm inside of it. And so finally he was able to work up the courage to open it, and it was just a bunch of broken glass glued together into some strange shape. It wasn't meant to be like an art piece. It was some message was attached to it to the effect of like this is something that repels dark matter. And like that's what I'm talking about is like it's harmless stuff like that, harmless quote unquote, sending broken glass to the mail, but it evolves into like, oh, you're not the right voice. I didn't like your voice
Yeah.
for that
I
character
mean,
in Japan that I love, so I'm going to send you Anthrax now. And that's people do that. They go
they
crazy. Like
do. I mean, we've seen it with mangaka getting sent razor blades, and hell, even Harada said you know, one of the creators of Tenken, he said he was getting sent like razor blades and stuff too, and it's over the dumbest things that you could think of. So, like, I understand what Crunchyroll was saying in terms of like having their agents get it. So that makes a little bit more sense to me if an agent gets it and goes through it. But you can't just say no to like no fan mail at all. I mean, that's just kind of messed up. But at the same time, like if it in terms of like physical like packages, I mean, you got to be careful with that, especially nowadays.
and that's what I mean. Fan mail again. You could send through the email. You can send an actor a tweet. You can send them a message through Twitter if they make their messages available for that. And quite obviously, some of them lock it down because crazy things happen in those. And that's what I mean about not allowing these people to have that. You observe it for, you know, legal matters and then you destroy it. If you're writing a very tender letter to an actor, I wouldn't advise that. They're not going to receive it the way that you intended. They may be touched by it, but that's probably not the person you should be confessing your feelings to. You know, I'm not trying to be smart. We live in a world of very lonely people, and I just don't trust. I don't think it's wise for public figures to be receiving physical mail. We're not in 1992 anymore, and I realize that was right around the time the Unabomber happened. So
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we're well.
I
The thing
just
though
realized that.
the thing is that like, well, in the U.S. it's different than say like Japan, because this is what I've been told by different mangaka in Japan, and also Harada's mentioned this too, is that handwritten notes in Japan are considered more sincere than emails, because like when they look at like something that's like printed or anything like that, it's kind of considered like a junk mail or like not as sincere. So like if it's to like a Japanese artist, it's one thing to like not have it be like to be for it to be handwritten, but like if it's for an American or like a Western artist, then I can understand like it just being an email or a tweet or something like that, and that being a whole different story. You know what I mean? You gotta look at it
Again,
from a cultural perspective.
I just come from the angle where less risk is best. If you're working for a corporation, fan mail sent to that character, to that employee because of that corporation probably ought to be dealt with. And that's all.
I'm just looking at it from a cultural perspective, where it's more than likely going to be able to be viewed by the actual person you send it to if it's handwritten than it is if it's just like something that's just typed, and just sent via email. But it's different in Japan. It's different in Japan than it is here in the U.S. The U.S. is full of a lot more crazier people than it is in Japan at the moment. So,
Well, and at the end of the day, we also have to remember that the prime minister was assassinated by a dude that put together 2 plastic tubes and a couple of batteries.
that is very
So,
true.
I mean, it's one of those things where I'm not saying this because if you want to go down this road, seat belts restrict people's movements in cars. It's a safety measure, but it was protested against, and it was protested here in Maine in 1990, some other, when it was made a law. Smoking in a vehicle is banned in Maine. In fact, some towns will pull you over and write you a ticket for secondhand smoke exposure to children in your vehicle if they catch you smoking.
But I'm with Spencer on this. There's got to be like a compromise. That's why I'm siding with Crunchyroll in regards to having the fan mail sent to the particular actor's agent.
Well, and that may work, but it's one of those things where it's not necessarily that you'd want the actor to not be receiving fan mail. It's that this form of it is a little high risk when you're dealing with millions of people as opposed to a few 100,000 like it was back in the early 2000s. I'll remind you, we had a guy that showed up to Gabby Gifford's political rally and shot her because someone on the internet told this Jared kid that she didn't understand the currency. And that wasn't even money. That was some kind of language that they had invented among each other. And so this guy went out and shot her right in the head. And that's what I'm talking about, is that like, if you want to talk to him through Twitter, talk to him through email. But when they go to work for the corporation, part of the contract should say, hey man, you get fan mail, they'll destroy it. Just tell people wherever you go, send me an email, send me a Twitter, don't send me real things. It's just not like it's not a safe thing to do these days. I think a corporation really, really invites a lot of trouble when they allow that.
But here's where I'm kind of at. If they send it to the corporation and don't send it to the agent, then they have the right to destroy it. That's where I kind of like am finding a middle ground with you, because especially with Crunchyroll is not in a state. There's a lot of people that just hate Crunchyroll right now. It's kind of not even safe for them to have any of their have any fan mail come into there right now. So that's why I'm like, okay, if Crunchy wants to go this route, then they should have it in their contract. Look, if we get any fan mail and it's not going to your agent, we are not responsible for it, and we're just going to flat out destroy it. Something like that in their contract. I think that would be more appropriate than just to like take it and pass it out. Because then that way, if it's in the contract and it says that, then it's not illegal. And then you have, then the federal inspector can't do anything about it.
Well, and again, I mean, like this is moreover what I'm talking about is that I just don't think it's safe to be allowing it. That's all.
Well,
I
at
don't
a
possess the
corporation,
ability.
yeah.
Again,
At a
I don't possess the ability to parole their home life and stuff. But as far as like their contracted work, the characters they portray, things like that, I just think it's to stay digital. It's a really dangerous situation to start having physical things sent around. We saw this with iDubbbz. People would just send iDubbbz trash, just whole garbage. They'd empty their garbage can, rotten food, rotten medical, empty medicine bottles. They'd send him that stuff, screws, all just random stuff in the mail. You know, that stuff. I used to watch a show, a guy that did Willet Microwave or something like that. He was living on a side of a pond in New Hampshire, and he had a P.O. box, and people would just send him garbage. Just random sticker bars, random sticker bar wrappers, rotten food. They'd just send him crap. They wouldn't send him like physical, like human waste, but they would just send him garbage all the time.
And that's why a lot of people that are public figures get a PO box for that reason, so that they don't know, people don't get their home address, and two, that way they have a PO box and it just everything goes there, and it's a lot easier. And also for security purposes, if you are like worried about your security, I think there's a way for you to get one for free, if I remember correctly. I have to look into it, but.
Well, and this is why I say it should be in their contract. You're free to agree to it or disagree with it at that point. But I just think it should be an extra layer of protection to put a wall up there.
Yeah, I agree with Spencer on that. That's why I said it should be in their contract specifically that if any private mail, like fan mail or whatnot, goes directly to is directly at the employer and doesn't go directly to like the agent or the voice actor's agent or directly to them, then Crunchyroll should have it in their contract where they have the right to destroy it. So that way, if it is in the contract, then they could be like, see, you signed this contract. You said we could destroy it, any of your private mail that comes here. You know better. So that's at least my opinion. So that way they're legally safe and they don't have to worry about the postal inspector. But we don't know what's in these Crunchyroll contracts. So we don't even know if that's even in there.
That's true. It could actually be part of their contract already that they don't want people, So Spencer says, no, having mail sent to a business is completely normal. Bills, fan mails, packages, that's it is what it is, and I get it. I just don't live in the fantasy land where people are going to play by the rules because the rules are there. I live in reality where people send horrible things through the mail. They send garbage. They send things that are entirely not appropriate to send through the mail. Used underwear, that goes through the mail. I'm sure there's quite a few young anime girls that would love to send their used underwear to certain voice actors because they play characters that are very handsome to them. And this is just it doesn't have to be anthrax. It doesn't have to be bubonic. It could just be a pair of underwear that's got a curious streak on it, And that's another, it's just one of those things where you limit the amount of risk when you limit the amount of risk. Keeping it digital means if you don't like the contact, you block it. It's over with. There's no exposure to anything that was unintended. And Spencer says, someone sent an email with bad content, no email for anyone. Well, I would say that a virus is a little easier to deal with than, having soiled underwear show up in the mail.
Well, Crunchyroll doesn't have the best IT support, so. And they don't have the best interface, so yeah. But it is easier to deal with a computer virus, than it is to deal with, say, like as you were saying like with anthrax. But
yeah,
But anyways, speaking of a computer virus, there is this stuff with the with the Pokemon leaks. There's been so much interesting information coming out of there. Like we did get the official timeline for the games. A lot of people were really excited to find out where like Diamond and Pearl was, for example, and Black and White and X and XY and Sun and Moon were in the timeline. But what I thought was interesting was that there were like separate timelines in all of this. That there's the original timeline, like and like I think it was like 2 different alternative timelines. It said if you go to the other image, it's a lot easier because I have it translated. I like that someone from 4chan did this. So you have the classic timeline, you got the legacy timeline, and then you got the modern timeline, and then there's the isekai timeline. And thank God someone from 4chan did it because I love how they have the images here. So like the classic timeline is it's like the classic red and blue and green and yellow, and then you have the gold and silver, and then you have
Hold
the
on, I'm getting to it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're getting it. It's okay. And then you have and then of course you have the timeline for everything here with red, blue, gold, silver, and ruby and sapphire and whatnot. And then there's of course like black and white. So like people were happy to find out about like the decade difference between black and white and Diamond and Pearl. That was the one that I think people were like the most intrigued by. But what do you think, Ryder?
The Isekai one is the only one that I'm really interested in. Sorry.
Why are you interested in the isekai one so much?
Who doesn't want to get isekai'd into Pokemon? Come on. Who doesn't want an isekai Pokemon adventure? That sounds like fun. I don't know about you, but I'd be down for that, especially where you'd end up with like Pokemon Ride. That would be quite a trip.
Pokemon Ride. Dude, that was so funny. Those
But we do have some character art updates here.
But yeah, they changed the first Lysander concept art that I saw. I think I saw this yesterday. It was so detailed and it was like really hyper realistic. And I love that and it was more realistic than the original one. But they decided to change it because, according to what 4chan was saying, and from what they translated, it was because he looked too much like Wolverine. And I think they just didn't want to deal with because I don't think Disney owned Marvel at the time, but they just didn't want to deal with the Marvel copyright.
Sure, who could blame him?
But he looked way too much like Wolverine. It's right though with the hair.
Well, and see, we could have had the Tommy Vercetti in Pokemon. Yeah, there you go. But it does, Truck-kun isekai me into Pokemon now. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But we could have had Pokemon Wolverine, and I don't know. Like, there's definite opportunity that's being missed here with having an X-Men Pokemon crossover, where like gifted and talented Pokemon have to help the X-Men solve some Team Rocket Brotherhood of Mutants nonsense.
Well, there's like the theory that was going on with the alien theory where like Team Flare, we don't know if this is true or not because this was just someone that came into 4chan and said this, but there was the theory that Team Flare was supposed to be like this Men in Black kind of situation, and there was going to be like more of like a true like alien based storyline for X and Y. It would have been very interesting to say the least.
Well, and again, we've got a lot of those concept art situations going on here because
yes. This is Mega Jinx. We got this confirmed last week that
it's bald on the back.
Jinx. No, the hair's right there. There's the hair covering.
Okay.
But yeah, this is Mega Jinx. And we did get that. For those wondering, yes, we did get it confirmed that is the real Mega Jinx. And the reason why it was scrapped was because they were worried about the negative backlash that would have came from the US and Europe. And from what I understand is that she would have been based off of a Gyaru design. And yeah, you can see the Gyaru. If you know what a Gyaru is, yeah, you could definitely see the Gyaru influence in terms of like the hair and the lips and the eye makeup and everything. Well, that's her eyes, but you know what I mean, because Gyaru's like having the big eye makeup too. I like the dress she's wearing; it's cute. But yeah, they just didn't, and she don't even
It's
have like skin. She has purple skin.
are they trying to make that into Lizzo? Are they trying? Because it's the
Pokemon
sunglasses.
Lizzo.
It looks like sunglasses, right? So my first thought was like, that's Lizzo in a wig.
Not Pokemon Lizzo.
Lizzo Pokemon. See, Leslie gets it. Yeah, I got Autobot
No,
Starscream gets it
no,
too.
not Pokemon Lizzo.
Pokemon Lizzo.
They couldn't, but they're like, but yeah, people are like they couldn't handle. The U.S. and in Europe couldn't handle Mega Jinx. But there was another like trading evolution Jinx that looked way that was way snatched that I found posted, and I thought that was Mega Jinx, but nah, that was like a different type of evolution of Jinx. But there was no way that she would have been accepted here in the U.S. They would have tried to compare her to like Nicki Minaj or something. But yeah, there's no. I have to agree though. There's no way that she would have that this Jinx would have been accepted. I mean, like when I posted the Jinx concept art, someone said that it looked like a rapper's girlfriend.
Jeez.
I was
Wow.
dying.
Wow.
That's just a regular Jinx. And then I like just thinking about it. Yeah, you can make the argument that Jinx is like trait evolution. Yeah, that would definitely be a rapper's girlfriend.
Ooh.
Dude.
So then we had the Big Hero 6 Ash
Oh god,
redesign.
this was so funny. I saw this last night and I was dead. I could not believe what I saw on 4chan with this. Like, what happened? What was this, a Game Freak? Seriously, what were you thinking with this?
So I guess they just saw like this surge of popularity in Big Hero 6 and decided let's just do that. Let's just turn Ash into that kid. And you know, I don't know, Pika Max. I don't think it's gonna work, guys. The cute and fluffy part of Pikachu is gone with Pika Max. So I think you probably better stick to the little animal thing as opposed to Big Hero 6.
But something else, going back to since we were talking about X and Y, something we found was Z version was definitely confirmed, and there was 2 additional Zygardes that were supposed to be part of it. This is how we found out about the Zygardes, or about Z version was via the Zygardes. I know we saw the Zygarde transformations in, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I know we saw at least like one of them in the XYZ anime. I know we did. I think that was one of them. The not the dog. I think we did see the dog one. I think we actually maybe have saw both of them in the XYZ anime. But yeah, these were supposed to be in the in the Z version game.
So why does it look like a Digimon?
That's what I was thinking too.
I keep looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, that's Paildramon, isn't it? That's just Paildramon high stance mode, isn't it? The paladin mode. And that's just Houndoom, but with like polygons, I guess.
I swear we saw it. I swear we seen the Zygarde.
Polydoom.
I swear we saw like these Zygarde transformations in the anime. with like Bonnie holding the leash. Yeah, I swear we saw these in the anime with Bonnie. I swear, but again, I could be wrong.
I didn't see any fan art, and you know there'd be fan art of this hexagon dog. You know,
there totally would be. But yeah, I saw that like I know Central League's posted this, and I'm like, wait, where's the? I know, and as soon as he posted the stuff with the Z version, I'm like, dude, you know, there. I saw the concept art for Zygarde. I was like, wait, something seems familiar about this. And I looked and I found the Zygar art. I'm like, ah, that's probably it. And I was surprised I didn't post it. Maybe he's worried about getting busted by the Nintendo ninjas. But I'm not worried about it. I'm too small of an account to get busted by the Nintendo ninjas. He's a lot bigger.
So far.
So far. But I'm careful about how I'm doing my leak stuff.
Well, you know what will get you into trouble, though?
What?
Pokemon Ride.
Dude, this is so funny. The fact that there is so many missed opportunities with the Pokemon choices.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that they chose Arbok, which I thought was like bizarre. Why Arbok of all things? Why would you
The dog's anus? Oh! Oh, you're right. That is really weird. Look at this. It's a bright green asshole they put on this poor thing. Look at that. We're just gonna zoom in inappropriately on this, just so Leslie doesn't look crazy. So here we go. So we're gonna show you. This is the dog. See the dog?
And
now
there's the ass.
There's a bit of a problem here with the dog. You saw the front of the dog. Now the back of the dog. I'll find it eventually somewhere. There it is. Look at that.
There's the green butt.
She's right. That's weird. That's pretty weird. Game Freak, guys. You guys need to pump your brakes. Speaking of which, pumping the brakes. Back at Pokemon Ride, and
this was a canceled game, by the way.
I can't imagine why.
But the one you were laughing at the most was Wheezing.
Yeah, well, so this one was kind of funny. I do want to go through these screenshots of Arbok, though, before we move on, though, because this is...
This is so stupid.
That man is naked. You're going to notice that all the character designs, the human characters, are naked riding these things. Now, I don't expect them to be full-blown character designs, but I don't expect these guys to draw butt cracks either. And, like, rib lines and stuff. It's like, it's emphasizing a bunch of bald, naked guys are riding around on these things. I don't know, just for Men's Club gets a little weird when you start applying these dynamics. But...
Well, Rapidash made sense. I mean, because it's Rapidash. It totally makes sense to ride a Rapidash.
But not naked.
Not naked, though.
But yeah, this one, of all of them, like, Pokemon Ride should just be the traditional mounts, the traditional human mounts, as opposed to, like, we'll stick a motorcycle body on an Arbok, so he looks like he's got little jazz arms and he wants a hug. Hold on, we'll go back to Arbok. Just check this out. He looks like he's like, bring it in, give us a hug. Guess who just got out of prison? Look at this, though. Look at it. Look at his face. Look at his dumb Arbok face.
He's like,
lock up your girl. I got my ride on. Lock up your girl. I'm coming for that.
He's coming for you, man.
Yeah.
But the fact that you said Wheezing was like Frieza, it just killed me, man.
Yeah, so this one shocked me. So for whatever reason, they decided that the coughing should be
you mean the
Frieza with acne, I guess.
You mean the wheezing, not the coughing. It's wheezing.
Sorry, the wheezing. And then there's just somebody riding it. Hold on, guys. My coughing can't keep up. And
your meme was so good for it, though. Oh my god, I had to post it because it was just, oh god, it was so stupid.
Pick it up. So here you go. This is the meme I made. Ride me, monkey. We have to outrace Jiren. Frieza, I need your help. We have to outrace Jiren. Can I use your oversized head as a mount? We'll put handlebars on it and everything. Bulma's already halfway done.
Like, out of all the Pokemon to ride, why Wheezing? It makes no sense. No sense at all. Why? Why, Game Freak? Why?
Bitches don't know when I roll up in my Wheezing mobile. My floating wheezing. I mean, like, that's a flex, right? You just roll up with a wheezing. That's a flex.
Then you're rolling up in your Magnezone. That's even better.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. This one looks the most like the just looks like torture. Looks like they lobotomized this thing.
I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Looking for someone riding it. It looks like you're naked, by the way, riding this. Okay, there's a naked bald man riding this lobotomized Pokemon
Poor
around.
Magnezone. You deserve better.
Yeah, Pokemon Cart. Yeah. Meteor Advocate Timon, member of the channel, says Pokemon Cart. Yeah, for like 5 seconds there, they had an idea of like, we'll just do Mario Kart with Pikachu. And everyone was like, no, that's too tiny. Well, how about a Raichu? That's still too tiny. So,
Well, there was supposed to be an Alolan Pikachu apparently, and people on 4chan were so pissed. They're like, really? We were supposed to get an Alolan Pikachu, and then and one of the bios were Sun and Moon bios revealed that we were supposed to get an Alolan Snorlax, and we didn't,
no.
which really sucks because Game Freak hates life apparently.
Instead, you got Motorcycle Frieza.
Well,
So,
that's a scrap design too, technically.
yeah.
It's
I
disgusting.
seriously think they should go back and revisit the Pokemon ride concept, but not in like the floating creature thing.
No.
So, you know how they had the Mario Kart buddy system there where
Oh,
you'd
double
have
dash.
the double
Is
dash.
so much fun. I love
So-
that game.
Just do Pokemon Double Dash. You're the driver as the trainer, and then your Pokemon's the gunner. And you go around and you just screw everybody up with your Pokemon special abilities.
Yeah.
Coughing releases a smoke screen when you have a certain charge. Pikachu releases a paralyzing electro attack that causes opponents to slow down, that kind of stuff. And that way you're not copying directly Mario Kart, or I think Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing was the one that had the buddy system that was automatic, right? You didn't need another player.
No, Mario Kart had that. It was Mario Kart Double Dash that had it. You didn't need another player for it.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Double Dash's point. My bad.
Yeah,
But,
you didn't. Need
there you
another
go. So
But
that's pretty cool that they did that. I think they should go back. I think they should give that a try again.
I know.
Crash.
I wanted
Yep.
Mario Kart Double Dash to make a comeback. I don't understand why they got rid of it. That was really stupid. But yeah,
from a Pokemon movie. Huh. Okay.
that right, Magnezone from a Pokemon movie.
Yeah. This week on Jackass. I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this week on Jackass, I'm gonna ride a coffin down a mountain.
But man, like, it's crazy. I think the craziest thing about the leaks was the other censorship we got. Because apparently hot pants are too lewd, or short shorts are too lewd. Especially if the character looks younger than their actual age. So you have to make sure the character doesn't look underage. And I think it's mainly for it's Nintendo of Europe that's the case. It's so bizarre.
She has a baguette that is obviously a sexual innuendo.
It's weird. Like, pinup poses are considered lewd now. I don't what is this, the 1940s? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Pinup poses are not lewd. They're adorable. And hell, even her just holding it like that and not with the hand down, that's still a pinup pose.
Yep. And that's what qualifies for it. And it's because it's a woman. If it was a man, they'd have no problem with it. If the character was defined as trans, there would be no problem with it. So that's how it goes.
But yeah, there's the here's the one I was talking about with the hot pants one, and then it has the Nintendo of Europe's Pokemon censorship in the thread, because it is just the weirdest thing, because it says like you can't reference diet, weight, or body shape or hate speech. It is so strict. And a lot of it has to do with, unlike the U.S., which has, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, Europe has something called hate speech laws. So, and the one that got me the most for the Nintendo of Europe stuff is the when we get there. But this is the hot pants thing I was telling you about. I mean, look at that. You can't. It's just so bizarre.
Yep.
Let me pull this up here so I can read it. It says basically that possible violations of laws in countries that prohibit expressions that evoke sexual images of minors under 18 years of age, and the waistline of the hot pants, both front and back, appears to stop at the crack of the buttocks and the crotch area. And 3D models often appear younger than the actual age, so be careful not to look underage. And it would be safer to raise the waistline slightly in the front and the back. And if Game Freak, it says Game Freak Sama, judged it necessary to prioritize the character's character and proceed with, I guess this is what the character's name is, Mamaki. And however, the same problem will occur when the character is baited to an anime. So if necessary, we'll make it into an anime, obtain Game Freak's permission to process the item by having her wear something. And that's where it cuts off. It's just the weirdest thing. It really is.
Now, the Game Freak's response was just to cut that out completely and not try to work with it, or I can't
think
imagine that because like they have a history of those shorts throughout the whole.
I think they probably just like they probably raised the waistline. That's what they probably did. But if you scroll down and go to Nintendo of Europe's Pokemon censorship, that's where it gets really, really bizarre.
Is it here?
Yeah, take a look at read it off. It is so funny.
Health-related content references to diet, weight, body shapes like the following. Examples, you're looking great. Have you been on a diet lately? Thanks. I will just have a salad. I can't let myself go if I want to fit into that swimsuit. I worry this guy will never notice me if I don't start losing weight. Hey, buddy, which part of your body do you like the least? This new diet I'm on says I can eat whatever I want, but I have to run to the restaurant. I have to run to the rest. What the hell? Oh, run. Okay, physically run. I thought it's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Dude, Nintendo of Europe is so weird.
I'm going to need to lose another 5 kilos to get into that one dress I saw over the weekend.
This
That's
is
getting clipped.
offensive. This is considered offensive. Like,
Yep.
What?
Do you think I look fat? I'm pretty sure my boyfriend thinks so. Maybe I should stop stealing his fries. Yes. You're playing a dangerous game, stealing his fries. Do you know what those mean now? Those are priceless now. But how many miles should I run to cancel out this muffin?
That is considered offensive. Like, what the hell? Like, this is not offensive.
Whoops. Gotta love how Twitter blows everything up. So we'll jump over here so it's not censored by the directional arrows. It says text which might be morally objectable or damaging someone's self-esteem. Hateful speech, racism, sexism, bullying, derogatory ethnic and gender stereotypes. Examples, gender stereotypes. Quote, okay, I guess we can set up camp here. Male character, would you mind coming with me? Set up camp here, male character. Would you mind coming with me to... it got cut off. Oh, it didn't resize. Cool. Gotta love it. Whatever. Here we go. So, male character, would you mind coming with me on a wild adventure to find wood for the fire? Female character will stay here and take care of the cooking. Okay.
That's offensive?
The Pokemon is pink, cuddly, and gives out sparkles when you squeeze him. All the women love him.
So you gotta say all the gays love him too? Like...
They prefer everybody loves him. You know, they prefer that. That would be their preferred.
Probably.
Everybody loves him.
But not everybody loves him. Like, who cares?
What the fuck is this?
What?
This Pokemon's rainbow-colored saliva makes for dazzling nail polish, which explains its popularity among female inhabitants.
What
Look,
the
okay,
fuck is this?
that's up there with the whale blubber being used for perfume. I get what they're going for, but now you've evoked in the mind that there are people milking the tongues of Lickitung in order to make nail polish. That there's somebody with a squeegee just raking the saliva down off that thing every day.
Oh god.
What's your job? I'm the saliva raker at the Lickitung nail polish factory. That's what I
You didn't
do.
read the racism part. There's a racism one too.
There's more?
Yeah.
The
there's
racism one didn't show up yet.
Yeah, it did. You missed it. It was right there under the black villager.
Oh, okay, right. Okay. Back to this. The black oh my. I'm definitely getting canceled for reading this one out loud. It says, Ooga Ooga, you evil men come to our village. Now mountain god angry and village going to burn. Me hates you.
That's racist, apparently.
Was that in a Pokemon game, or are they just sitting there trying to make up stuff that's
I
not
think they're trying to
okay?
make up stuff at this
That-
point.
That's quite a window into the mind of the European censor. It's quite a window.
Yeah.
Then the homophobic ones. Heavens to Betsy. It says, following a confusing episode, whatever that
Confusing,
means.
quote unquote.
It says, male character, we are so silly. We thought you were in love with that other guy. Everyone laughs. Okay. Does mistaken romance not happen unless it's gay people? What are we talking? What? To the male character, why would you want to wear that? It makes you look like a girl. Yeah, it does. Cut it out.
Like,
It's weird. Your Lickitung is going to judge you if you do that.
there's questions though. Like, you can't just censor these kinds of things though.
Yeah. It's bizarre, certainly, but it's what these censors invented. It's like the moms of America inventing all these problems.
Yeah.
It says non-traditional relationships. Example, homosexual relationships. This Pokemon species only has males, yet they keep on thriving. I wonder how they do that.
That's what a lot of people want to know. Like, how?
There's a whole... Well, what the hell does Professor Oak do? Like, what? Isn't his job to figure that
Yeah.
shit out? Isn't that his whole fucking area of
Yes.
study? I don't...
That's his whole thing. That's all these professors think is to do Pokemon research, is to figure it out.
Okay, well, it's one of those things. So we're going to go on. We'll read the next one. It says, random sailor guy. Oh, picking on the sailors now. Just because I sail the 7 seas does not mean I cannot wear high heels if I want to. Why? Hold on. That would be, though. That would be something they want.
Like,
Wouldn't they want to encourage that? Because that's their thing. Like, everything's gay, so wouldn't they want the gay guy to be a cross-dresser too? Wouldn't that be appealing to a wider audience in their mind? That's such a bizarre... That's a strange thing. I wonder what Europeans think cross-dressing is.
they have a bunch of cross-dressers in Europe. But the other thing, though, is, and I was thinking about when I saw this, was that I have to wonder if Nintendo of Europe is thinking about like the really conservative countries, like Italy has a lot, is really, really, really conservative, because that's where the Pope and the Vatican are. So you have to wonder if
Yes.
that is if they're thinking about that too.
Well, and we do have wonderful news about the Pope. The Vatican. Oh, Trump's in a truck. Okay. Sorry, I just turned over to search it on, and there he is. He was in a truck. So anyway, this is the Vatican's new little character that they're promoting now. I don't know this character's name yet.
Oh, it's loose.
Loose? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Which is Italian
it's
for light. It says right there.
Italian for light. And so this little character goes around and and just is meant to promote Catholicism in a very gentle way. And
It's very, very
apparently,
cute.
apparently there will be more of this style of character, as apparently the Vatican has commissioned an anime from this same studio that constructed this. So
But
we'll
but something that I've seen, there's already fan art of Luce, and there's a diverse set of characters already as well. But something that I've seen in a lot of, and I've seen in my comments, and I've seen in the comments in the QRTs of the announcement tweet, is that I've seen a lot more Catholics say that, you know, that this actually makes them proud to be a Catholic, that seeing the Pope, you know, embrace anime like this. So that's especially when you have because you've seen, like, there's a lot, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen it a lot on my feed, is you have these far right, far right, more like alt right, excuse me, because far right is more on the libertarian side, anarchist side of things. Alt right, which is like extreme Christian and all that, I call them Christo fascists, where they're trying to push their religion onto people, and they are very anti-anime. And seeing this actually gives gives anime fans that are Catholic a little bit of hope that that they are not that they're not being shunned by their religion.
Okay.
So that's what I see from this, and I think that's a good thing that the Pope is taking, and you know, Catholicism as a whole now is taking this position, that they are not shunning a good chunk of their followers. I do worry about the pushback from a certain sect of boomers, and a certain sect of the religion, not just boomers, that are going to attack attack the Pope, and attacked because they are very anti. Because this is, let's be real, this is a lolly. And there's going to be some shotas there too that are very anti-lolly and very anti-shota, and they're going to be attacking them for this. I worry for that, but other than that, I mean, I think this is a good thing to bring more followers and back into the community.
Well, and you know, I don't know about it. Like, I wouldn't classify, because in the West, lolly means something a little different. It implies a more I don't want to say sexualized, but I would say a bit more of an adult context, I guess. And so I would just say it's a child character. That's just me. You could call it whatever you like, but Luce, as you say, is definitely a step in the right direction to bring Catholics, people who have been kind of on the fringe, back into caring about their faith. They may not be going back to church because Luce says so, but it could also be just a symbol of the church's innocence. And in recent years, the Catholics do kind of need to do something about that, because Francis has fallen out with quite a few traditionalists. Quite a few people who are Latin Mass have felt very threatened by the changes in the church.
Yeah, I've seen that
So,
too. I saw that in the comment section. That's one thing I saw in the comment section a lot, is that they are pissed off about the lack of Latin masses.
well, and so there you go. I mean, where you're dealing with people that are kind of on the edge of things, and so it does kind of feel like the church is trying to use the anime angle to get out from having to kind of rectify this problem that they're having. But I'm on the outside looking in. It's a cute
Same
thing.
here.
It feels genuinely innocent and targeted at entertaining children, and I don't have a problem with religious characters doing that.
Well, it's
I'm not
also
trying to be
hold on.
funny.
There's also the fact that this is for the World Festival that's going to be in Osaka too.
Yeah. And
So
I hope they continue on with Loose. Like, they have this anime coming, and I hope they do more of it, because this is I wouldn't say that this is a bad idea, in my opinion, because Japan has notoriously itself been difficult to bring into the fold, as it is, as it were, relating to faith. And this opens a door for them now. They're not, like, out on the fringe, out on the edge, trying to understand, the Western religion anymore. There's kind of a bridge for them to communicate with it now, as opposed to just being this sort of crosses and blasphemy sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah, they still need to do that. That's the only thing I worry about by having like a Lolly Shota character, or Lolly and Shota characters, is that this might not improve their image. of molesting kids because you have the psychos that can't separate fiction from reality. That's the only concern I have. Also, it's kind of ironic, but
Well, I mean, this is something that I don't think the character itself is meant to take on responsibility for that, but
no. It's just an innocent little character. It's not doing anything wrong. But I'm just saying that you have these psychos, especially amongst these fringe groups that can't separate fiction from reality. And it's not just on one side, it's both sides that do it. And you're going to have these far left groups that will say that that the church is probably molesting this kid or something like that. They're going to probably pull a stunt like that.
sure.
But
Most people feel that way, but then there's also people that are Alexander Anderson who will 100% take care of that problem with a smile on his face.
But the other thing I was thinking too is that this could potentially be the next Veggie Tales.
Oh my gosh, that would be epic that you have this little character running around learning Bibles. Well, they're Catholic Bible stories, so they'd be a little metal. But that could still work, I guess.
It'd be
You
the
can get
next
Tug to
VeggieTales.
write it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tug and his daughter could write it because when I first saw this, I was like, that's Little Umbrella Girl. That's that Umbrella guy's daughter's comic book character. The Catholic Church took Little Umbrella Girl. But I don't understand the
So-
raincoat. I'm not quite sure what that one's about.
So the Catholic Church made an anime girl called Lucy, right?
Yeah, it's Italian for light, I guess.
Yeah, it's also a short synonym for Lucifer, who's also
Yeah.
known as the light bearer.
Now, it would be really cool if you were pulling from the right microphone.
Oh, I'm not.
Nope. We hear you across the room.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better.
There it is. Yeah. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to this
Hey.
side of the room.
Thanks StreamYard for automatically changing my settings in
Yeah.
between sessions.
Well, and so it does that a lot. It loves to do it. So there you go. I mean, this is my favorite piece of fan art to come out about Luce. I absolutely love it.
Isn't
But
that
I
the
know-
guy from
Hellsing.
Fullmetal? Oh, Hellsing.
It's from
yeah,
Hellsing.
duh.
Yeah, it's Alexander Anderson.
Yeah, it's Alexander. Yeah.
Which, by the way, there is a
That's pretty
rumor that
great.
there's a rumor that there is a Hellsing reboot. I'm looking into it, but I haven't proposed an article yet because it's just hearsay at the moment.
I have my fingers crossed that they're going to introduce Luce into this. That'd be funny. Because you know how anime handles this stuff, so it'd be quite exciting to see what they do with her. But yeah, they won't get permission, I assure you. Now, as you can see, we're circles. We are a bunch of
Circle.
Yep. It was supposed to
I like
line
it.
up
Too
better.
spooky.
Well, it was supposed to line up better. We were supposed to look like we were like apples sitting on the rim of the cauldron here, but
Ah.
it
Thanks,
wouldn't.
StreamYard.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me overlay. Like, I can't put one bubble on top of another. And, it's kind of the point is to be able to see people.
Yeah,
So I
I guess
understand why
that
you
makes
can't
sense, but
overlap them. But this close to making it work. But, yeah, you guys ready to start the show?
whenever you are, it'll be a better show than Venom.
Nerdigans, was there another anime thing we wanted to cover?
I think we touched upon basically all of it. Well, the main stuff for the Pokemon leaks. They're in regards to the lewdness and all of that, but there's more, but we can talk about that later
Sure.
if there's time
All right.
left.
Your call, Miss Tokyo.
We can
All
go.
right. All right. See you on the other side.
If you see a blue hair, then shout loud. SJW, who smells like patchouli in the standing crowd? SJW, they're screaming about wolves and powder spills. SJW, but that's not shit they ain't selling well. still on the court, flames in the sky. You feel that heat, it's about to fly. This ain't just hoops, this your life for the line. We fighting for more than peace this time.
And please don't give up on this, my valiant heart. In the face of fear I promise I won't fall apart. Through the fire and the rain, for you I'll stand tall. Take my hand, and together we'll never fall. I promise, we're enough to survive this trial. Enough to survive this trial.
Jeff was beginning to wonder, who are these people? Why were they the stars of every television show he tried watching? Did he eat edibles and forget? Forget what? Jeff asked, the British voice inside of his head. You'll find out, Jeff. You'll find out.
Guys, I wasn't kidding. Venom is a terrible, terrible, terrible movie.
I'm agreement that Puerto Rico was trash. Like, what changed?
We're catching all the Pokemon leaks and also the cringe Veilguard dialogue too. Oh my god, it is not good, guys.
Happy Halloween a day early because we don't stream on Thursdays.
Aren't we, though?
Aren't we?
Aren't we?
Nobody else replied.
It was just us?
I can do it.
Apparently.
I mean,
Well-
technically I can because I don't have a movie to screen tomorrow. So, I mean...
Okay,
What-
I guess we're doing a stream tomorrow. Congratulations, we're doing Ancient Echoes tomorrow, a conspiracy streamer. We're going to talk about the Denver airport. So tune in
all
at
right,
some
we're in
point
for it.
tomorrow.
Fine,
about
I'm
that.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not,
Jacob, I was
you
gonna say,
guys,
like,
you don't
this
need to
is
worry.
exactly where you want to be.
You don't need to worry about doing research on it. We're just going to put a Word document together, and that'll just let us get through it without taking a billion different conversations on the side. So that's all.
Without a script, it gets into yelling about the statue
It's not.
real
It's
fast.
not so much a script. It's just an outline, so that we're not talking about
That's what I mean,
lizard
yeah.
men when we're supposed to be
Right,
talking about
right.
the creepy horse statue. So that's
the
another
worst part
show.
about the Denver airport isn't even all that. It has the worst security in the system in the entire country. I mean, it's all BSQ theater stuff, but I particularly hate doing it there. But
So,
besides, or go ahead.
well, Leslie asked what time, and I was thinking it would probably be in the afternoon on the East Coast. It would be early afternoon for you folks on the West Coast.
All right.
All right, so that way-
It can't be too early because, I mean, I still don't get back here till like 5:30ish on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
so that'll be 5:30. Yeah, I was thinking about 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Does that still work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, because that'll make it 3 o'clock for you two. So,
That's fine.
All right. okay.
Yeah,
And then we
Nerdigans,
do
what do you got? What do you got going on at 3 o'clock on a Thursday?
Not much, really.
The daily Xeno beatings.
Well,
which-
well, Venom.
Yelling at people on Twitter for being dumb.
Well, probably going through Pokemon leaks. Right, Kitty?
Just out here making her cat shuck and jive on Twitter every single day.
Nice. There's
That
a
fuzzy
Kitty answer
hustle.
for you.
Did you just refer to did you just call the cat a Sambo? Like a Sambo cat? Good God.
that was a multi-layer joke.
Yeah, that was a Scorado. That was an
He's
incredible
judging you
one.
now. Look at that. He is judging you for that.
Good.
He's
That
a
is-
cat. He has to look. I'm Asian. He needs to not take that attitude with me. All right?
Mhm.
We will have
Taking
words.
attitude with you, and he will have words with you. Look at that. He is taking attitude.
Zeno! But yes, guys,
So-
welcome. It is Wednesday. We are back. It is another episode of the 01 stream. I hope you guys had a blast over there on Tokyo Happy Hour with Cider and Nerdigans, breaking down those hilarious Pokemon leaks, or some hilarious when it comes to the ride stuff, some just absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the standards and practices of Europe. They just hate everything. Europe is a country that continually exists on like, we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to offend anybody. I mean, I guess that's just the West now, but still, when we saw that document laid out a couple minutes ago, that was pretty bonkers. But
well, first of all, Europe is a continent, not a country. So that was
it's this
whatever.
close. It's this close. I mean, if you see the European Trade Union lately, it might as well be a country.
That big. It's that big. They don't get rights, all right? I'm an American. I legally don't have to care about their geography.
I think it's in the Constitution that we're not allowed to care about.
Right. If I knew exactly where like Italy and Spain were on a map, I would be sent to Gitmo immediately.
Exactly. They'd waterboard that out of you. They come back up and like, why does Brando have electrolytes? You're like, Rome is a wonderful place. It's beautiful. Put him back under. Put him back under. Why does Rondo have electrolytes?
They go into my closet and they pull it back, and there's just like a full red coat uniform in there. They're like, we got him.
I mean, Spencer, they think a cute little girl in a swimsuit and holding an inner tube going like this is too lewd.
I know. Well, I was watching while you guys were breaking it all down, and just the amount of things where they were over analyzing things, and that's like the nicest way to put it. They were pearl clutching at everything. If they looked at it like, this is my takeaway from that entire section, Nerdigans, is like Nintendo of Europe was looking at these designs with every aspect of like, this could be taken sexually, this could be bad, like inventing scenarios whole cloth, like that caveman one. That was weird. Like, I don't even know why they brought that up, but it feels like they've gone so far in, this could possibly be misconstrued as sexual, where it's like, everything can. So do we just ban everything? Like, it's so
even
bizarre.
hand holding is now considered sexual. That's what I thought was the weirdest thing from like the latest batch I looked at, was not only like Shelly's pants, like only like one, like the one on the hip, the keyhole on the hip was just covered, and not the rest of them. Like, you know, the one on her shoulder and the one on her like, that wasn't censored, but it was only the one on her hip. But like also like the team Magma pair can't hold hands. They had to like move the pose.
Yeah.
Really, it's too lewd. It's like what year is this? Where pinup poses are considered lewd, where hand holding is considered lewd. It's just so bizarre. We're at this point in 2024.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. I know Cider mentioned it last week, but like, it's not a... There are two things at play here. It's useful idiots buying into the overall socialization plan, right? Because there are people out there who will hear the message of like, oh yeah, over sexualize, don't sexualize people against their will, like all that stuff, and they'll buy into it because they think like this is the good thing. And those are the ones, that's mostly who you hear about. Those are like the useful idiots. But they're the people, you know, in control of pushing all of this stuff, like, that lets it get into government, lets it get into our education system, that clearly want some blurring of the lines. I mean, I don't specifically know where they want to go with it. It's just clearly going there. Like, do they just want us not attracted to anybody anymore? Are they just completely trying to blur the lines? What did you say last weekend or last week, Cider? They were like blurring the lines for the depopulation, right? Or like to control the amount of people we have. So yeah, all of those things are, like, as far as I know, I don't know any of them to be true, but they all sound like they could be valid. So yeah, there's clearly something going on here. It's not just organic, Nerdigans.
I was just thinking it was the insecure Karens that were in charge that want all the guys attracted to them and not.
But those are the useful idiots.
Yeah,
right?
that's
those
the
are the ones
idiot.
where
Yeah.
the social engineers can go, who can we? Yeah, exactly. Who can we get to promote our message? Oh, we'll get the Karens, the bright-haired Karens, the Kotaku reporters, Polygon. They're doing the work for them, even if they don't realize it.
Like, I mean, those useful idiots that you're talking about are the ones for Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the reviews that we're seeing for them, like that we talked about in the Slack, like it's just so obvious that they're getting paid off for these reviews. It's not even funny.
Yeah, so let's kick off the night with some Veilguard talk. Jacob, I definitely want to talk Venom with you because I couldn't make it last night, but we need to talk about that movie because that movie sucks. But
Sure.
we'll start.
You want to do that? Okay, we'll do this and then we'll do Venom.
Actually, let's reverse it. I'm pretty sure it'll be faster for us to talk about Venom than it will be for the Veilguard, and the Veilguard will probably get us jumping around.
Yeah, Veilguard, there's a lot to talk about. Oh my god.
So yeah, we can start with some Venom talk. Cider, you can feel free to find whatever graphic you want. I know we don't have any Chris's review isn't up yet or anything, so
just real quick while Cider's getting that together, I just want to do a quick little sidebar. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you guys saw what happened at the World Series last night between the Yankees and the Dodgers. Now, at this point, I'm completely emotionally out invested in this whole thing, but now I have a reason to be invested. And here's why. If you guys saw what happened, I think it was like in the first inning of last night's game in New York, a couple of New York Yankee fans literally tried to rip a foul ball out of the hands of Mookie Betts live during the game on national television. Everyone saw it. They got kicked out of the stadium and then got banned for Game 5. Now, people are saying that, oh, these two need to be banned from the stadium for life. Hold that thought. Because what happened was that the Yankees won Game 4. They're currently winning Game 5. If the Yankees somehow come back and win this series, and that turns out to be the pivoting point of the entire series was him trying to rip the ball, they should give that guy the key to the city. And they should have him in the parade because he quite literally saved the World Series from being won by the dirty LA Dodgers. So.
By the dirty Dodgers. No, that's okay. I like that take because, and I was genuinely surprised because I hate this World Series. This is like the most boring matchup I could have ever asked for. And at least personally, these are the two teams I hate the most. So I'm like, I don't want anybody to be happy. So you know what? I'm on Team Jacob now. Even if the memory of Bartman is still very much burned into my Cubs fan head.
I wish we would have had the Mets. The Mets should have been playing the Yankees and have
anybody else. Anybody else.
Literally anybody else would have been better.
I would have taken the Diamondbacks if I had to. But yes. Enough of the jock talk. That's not what you guys are here for. Let's talk a little bit about Venom. Now, I'm presuming Nerdigans and Cider, you guys probably haven't seen this movie. Cider, maybe.
No, why would I?
Nerdigans, let me ask you just a
quick... You're online. I don't know. Maybe someone shared it on Twitter and you were like, oh, screw it. I'll put it on in the background.
Okay, quick sidebar question for Nerdigans. When was the last time you actually gone to a movie theater?
I don't know. I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time.
It felt like it had been a while.
To me, either going to be a while or it was going to be like the last My Hero Academia movie. So I've
never seen a My Hero Academia movie in theaters.
Have you seen an anime movie in theaters? That wasn't Pokemon the first movie?
Yes. That wasn't Pokemon the first. Yeah, of course I have. I haven't seen
Digimon the movie.
I did see that in theaters, actually.
The last time I went to the theaters, it was Angela Anaconda.
Divorce.
Angelamon.
No, Angelamon. No.
Even to this day, I still am like confused and scared and angry at that short. Like,
some ideas were just
DVD. It's still there. They refused to. Somebody signed in blood over that.
It's officially part of the actual runtime. Because for those guys who don't remember Digimon the movie.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, because what happened was Digimon the movie wasn't an actual movie. What they did is that they took 3 Japanese Digimon movies, copy and pasted it all together, did some English dub to make it seem like it was a new creation when it really wasn't. So you were watching 3 movies that had no context
for children.
It's like 3 movies that had no context with each other whatsoever and pasted out in the theater. It's like, oh yeah, it's a new exclusive movie. It's like, it made no sense whatsoever.
It was even more confusing because all those movies share different art styles. So there'd be like one scene where it looked like movie 1, and then it would cut to like movie 3, where with
not
all
only
the
that,
improvements and stuff. And I'm like, oh,
all 3 movies were in completely different timelines because the first movie was like Ty as like a small child. And then the second movie was from season 1, and then the third movie, part 3, was from season 2. So there was no cohesion between any of the storylines at all.
And the art style would just jump around. That was
Mhm.
the other thing. It would just
Yep,
like
yep.
you'd have that weird foggy childhood tie where everything's kind of rubbery a little bit. Then you
Yeah.
got that crisp Y2K art, anime art for like
So when
Dennis.
like
Was that the
Dennis.
character, the American character? Was that his
No,
name?
No,
Dennis?
Willis.
Willis. Sorry,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was an
Willis,
is.
that's right.
I got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
is part.
Who,
But yeah.
who was a completely made up creation who didn't exist anywhere in the actual lore of
And
Digimon.
that was awful because he was the coolest one of them. I walked out of that one. I was like, I want to be like Willis. He's so chill. He's like, I have the best Digimon, and then I have the literal worst Digimon that almost nuked Japan.
Yeah, like I have the nicest and the most evil.
Right. I have the bunny with pants and the nuke bunny.
Fox, in all retrospect, Fox Kids and somebody should have went to jail for that atrocity called
It's true.
Digimon the movie. Somebody
Yeah.
should have literally got
And
went to prison for fraud.
And the Angelomon opener. That one.
Oh,
That gets
you
the
know what
death
was worse?
penalty. That gets
You
the
know-
death penalty.
You know what was worse? They had the audacity to claim that movie cost them $5 million to make. And I said, how? How? It's not even your movie. You're literally copy and pasting like clips together. Where did that money go?
And
Where
that
did that
was at a
money?
time when like anime wasn't that popular. There's no way they charged you $5 million to license all 3 of those movies. Get out of
Mhm.
my face! Like there's no way.
And even at that, with it all copy and pasted together, and the Angela Anaconda bit, it was still only 88 minutes long. Straight to jail.
That's what's hilarious. I didn't realize Angela was supposed to actually be part of the runtime. That is so. What a disaster! Yeah, straight to jail, straight to Gitmo, straight to the sun. At this point,
Mhm.
that's awful. All right, but if you guys want to talk about it, another awful movie. Let's talk really quick about Venom, because this movie, guys, Jacob and I were unfortunate enough to catch it. Jacob, because he had to review it for his movie stream, and myself, because it was around and I had nothing better to do. So I guess we'll just begin. Jacob and I have had the same problem, because I talked about this movie on Friday and you talked about it last night. It's hard for us to find a spot to start with on this movie, because the movie itself isn't even like a cohesive movie. It's just a bunch of, the way I put it was like they took a bunch of extra deleted scenes from Venom 1 and 2, and they did the Digimon thing. Actually, that's the way I viewed it. They just took a bunch of like cut footage and went, oh yeah, slap it together and do some voiceover and get Andy Serkis in here for like 5 seconds and we're good. Like that's what this movie feels like to me.
It almost feels like similar to Digimon the movie, where they took 3 separate movies and just cut and pasted all into one and try to make it seem like it was. I mean, let's be very clear here. The first Venom movie, we talked about this a little bit last night. I actually somewhat defended the first movie because I thought, okay, it's different than what we usually see from all the comic book movies, so I don't hate it too much. Even though people were like, well, this isn't Venom, and no, technically they're right, it's not Venom at all, but. And then you get to the second movie, and I famously told you guys that about 30 minutes in, when Venom was partying with the hipsters in San Francisco, I wanted to just walk out and leave right at that very moment. That movie physically made me angry. And then you have this movie, which nothing makes sense. There's no cohesion here. There's not really a story or a plot. They just decided, okay, we're losing money gradually on these films because people are just completely abandoning anything Sony related that's not actually Spider-Man.
Right.
So this has got to be the last one. So how are we going to end this? Oh, let's introduce Null, who's apparently some intergalactic like symbiote demon who's
he's
in like
basically he's like the equivalent of symbiote Thanos. That's what they did in this last movie. They said, here's our big bad, and also Tom Hardy's gone. Who knows what we're gonna do?
Yeah, so then it's like, okay, so he's in space Puerto Rico. He needs to get out, but he can't get out. So he has to find Venom, who has some MacGuffin called the Codex, and that's the only way that he can somehow leave his space prison.
Hold on. Superman. Henry Cavill had the Codex.
Yes, it did. That was what I thought too. I was like, wait a minute. We've used weird goo Codex things already in a movie. That was Superman.
Nope. In this movie, whenever Venom and Tom Hardy become one, essentially, that activates the Codex, and then somehow they can be tracked by Noel, who spins like demonic like cricket monsters to go find them or something like that. And then in between this, you have military people trying to decommission Area 51, and they have like a whole bunch of like random symbiote characters trapped there for reasons, because that just is. So then they have to go and find Venom because they think that they're a threat to humanity. And then while this is going on, Venom is hanging out with some hippie family from California who's going to visit Area 51 before it's destroyed for reasons. And then and at some point they go to Vegas for no reason whatsoever. And then the was it the convenience store owner, Mrs. Chen, she's still there. She's still in this series for some weird reason, even though we keep moving from city to city, and she continues to be there. And then somehow
she's the only one they keep. Michelle Williams gone. Everybody, we don't need any of them. But Mrs. Chen, there we go. That's who everybody wanted to see back.
And then somehow at the very end, these people have the audacity to do an emotional, I guess this is it, my friend. We're not going to see each other for a while. And, you know, this whole emotional thing's like, oh no, Venom's going to die. And it's like, no one likes these movies. Like, you realize no one cares? You realize...
The best part, so the movie ends with this montage. So in the end of the movie, basically Venom, the symbiote sacrifices itself to take care of all of Null's bug monsters and save everybody. So at the very end, Eddie's like walking around and he flashes back. It's very, very stupid. It's not even close to noble. In the end, the ending scene is Eddie like walking in New York, reminiscing about all of his times with Venom over a Maroon 5 song, which was really out of place. But like 90% of the clips are from that movie, are from the movie you just saw. So
was it the She Will Be Loved song?
No, it was something dumber. I thought it was that at first because of the way it sounded, and then I just went, oh, it's another Maroon 5 song.
Oh, they all sound alike. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it could just take a page out of Digimon and just start playing All-Star from Smash Mouth.
You run around, I run around.
Would have been a significant improvement to this movie.
Do you remember how random that was? You're just watching some stuff happen on the screen, and then all of a sudden, you run around, I run around.
or even worse, or it's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Okay, you're 8 years old in that movie, okay? Like that. But anyway, back to Venom, not Digimon, that we clearly want to talk about more than Venom.
I know. We really want to talk about something that's way more.
We got to do a Digimon retrospective.
To be fair, we did pass 24 years since that movie has been in release.
Oh no!
So, yeah, if you want to feel old, Digimon the movie came out 24 years ago.
We've let it exist a quarter of a century. We haven't shot it into the sun yet.
Yep. It's still out there.
You showed those anti like tourism thing, or not tourism, but anti like acting like a jackass sign cider in Japan right now. They need to set those up for like, if you are American, we know what you did to the Digimon movie, and we will find you.
Right? No American Digimon fans allowed.
No, Matt.
It's like the no gaijin signs that are outside of the bars, like Japan only signs. It says Japanese Digimon fans only.
it has two signs, and it's like, which one is this character? And it's like Tai, and I forget whatever his Japanese name is. Takaru, I think. Nerdigans probably knows off the top of her head. But then it's like, if you put your hand in the Japanese one, you get the door handle. If you put it in the American one, I don't know. It's like, it'll be like Silent Library. Somebody just comes out and slaps you.
Get Dookie.
You get Dookie, exactly. Anyway. Do you remember his name off the top of your head?
It's Tai Chi, isn't it?
Tai Chi.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can remember them. What that? So we got an actually close name. That's right. Tai. All right. You get one little pass for that, but we do know what happens.
Trying so hard not to talk about Venom.
I know. Okay. We'll wrap up Venom because clearly we don't want to talk about it. The main things I wanted to hit about Venom is, yes, like Jacob said, this movie makes absolutely no sense. Everything is sort of thrown together, and you're just sort of, presume, like, they just want you to accept that, scene is happening. No thinking about how you got there. No thinking about how it connects to anything else. Like, it is just a directionless, discombobulated piece of, like this feels so cynical because it feels like more than almost any movie we've seen lately. it was made just to get a profit, like just to be like, oh yeah, people like Venom, make another Venom. Like it's more so than any of the other things we saw. I will say that the hippie family is a weird addition, but I liked their interactions and characters the most because they felt like actually human. And I also think we have a lack of like good family depictions in media like nowadays. So there's a scene in Venom where after Tom Hardy gets picked up by this family, where it's a mom, a dad, a teenage daughter who's in her like rebellious phase, and a young kid who's all bright-eyed, like a young boy. And at one point while they're driving, the daughter the entire time is like making those teenager sarcastic comments like, yeah, they kidnapped us. Yeah, wait till we tell child services about what we're doing, being a bit of a brat. But at one point, the dad starts playing the David Bowie song, Ground Control to Mission Tom, to Major Tom. And while that's going on, Eddie is like, what the hell is happening? But you see all of the family is like getting along. Like there's the one moment I remember is that in the front seat is like the teenage daughter and the mom. And even though the teenage daughter was being like a brat 5 seconds ago, she's like, the mom catches her singing along like while she's looking out the window. So she like grabs her hand and they hold hands and it's cute. And I'm like, I like that. It has nothing to do with this movie. It could be in literally anything else, but I liked that. Like I liked their interactions. The main things I wanted to criticize were, one, yes, at the very end, we get all of the 90s symbiotes come back, like Lash and Phage and all that stuff. But
Tempest?
Don't forget Toxin.
Oh, Toxin.
Hold on. How does Tempest exist if Peter Parker's not real, to meet Mary Jane, to boink her, to have a baby, to then be cloned into Tempest?
Cider, I can't even answer that question because we don't even know how these ones exist.
It's okay. You got me.
I am not even kidding. They're about 3/4 of the way as we're going into the climax of the film. We finally go into Area 51, and out of nowhere, there are just 9 extra symbiotes. We don't know anything about them. They don't know what they're doing with them. They're just there. And then
it's like symbiote Power Rangers.
It really is, because then the big Gnome monster comes in and smashes open all of their cases, and they just start like attaching to random people and being like heroic. It is so ham-fisted. It feels so weird. It feels like they just yelled go, and all the actors decided, okay, I'm just gonna do something because nobody gave me direction. It's bizarre. And then the thing I really like, this is what drew me out of the movie and sort of just kind of like symbolizes, embodies just how little anybody cared while making this movie. There is a scene where, like Jacob was saying, eventually Eddie gets to Vegas and he tries to go into the Paris hotel while wearing the same outfit he was wearing from No Way Home. So the button up, the Golden State Warriors shirt, and some like khaki shorts. He tries to walk in, and the Paris casino, right? The one main on the strip with the big Eiffel Tower, they throw him out and they go, sorry, sir, we have a very strict dress code. And I'm like, I've been to Vegas multiple times, drunk off my butt, wearing not a tuxedo, and I've walked in and out of Paris a zillion times.
I have seen literally 70-year-olds who look like they're on the verge of death walking in and out of that. So I've been to Vegas quite a few times.
Yeah,
and it's like that whole, we have a dress code here. Now, they have dress codes for like the nightclubs that are inside of the casinos, but there's no dress code just to get into that's not how it works. That's not how Vegas works.
To the front desk, you don't need to be dressed up.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this movie?
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense.
Oh, okay. Kelly Marcel, who's from London, who probably has no idea of how Vegas actually works to begin with.
Oh my God. That completely puts the stamp on it. I know that's what happened. In my heart of hearts, I know it's a Londoner who doesn't know anything about Vegas. That is bonkers. Like, that's beyond bonkers.
And you think that since they did some establishing shots in Vegas, you might as well, I don't know, walk around for a couple of days, see how the life is like, and then try to capture that on film. It's a little thing we used to call filmmaking.
At the very least, it's not an all British production. Doesn't somebody at some point go, hey, I've been to Paris. This doesn't happen. Like, it's so obviously
Has nobody on set ever been to a UFC fight in Vegas that nobody could give them some pointers about, hey, this is not exactly how it works?
And like it's one of those moments where you sit there and it's so sure it's minimal, but it's so not in line with reality that your brain just sort of breaks and you're like, what the actual hell are we doing here now? Like, I don't even understand at this point. And then the last thing I wanted to note, and because you brought it up, is yes, that dumb club scene in Venom 2 is dumb. It's very, very dumb. In this movie, there is also a dance scene, like you said. This is the only compliment I think I can ever pay to Venom 2, which is, at the very least, that dance scene made more logical plot sense than this dance scene. So if we remember, like in Venom 2, Venom, the reason he goes out is because he gets in like a fight with Eddie and he needs to go like find his own identity. So he starts jumping around San Francisco, and in doing so, he finds the club and it's stupid, but at least you go, okay, he could have stumbled across that because he was out and about. In Venom 3, they literally, Eddie and Venom walk into the casino. They see Mrs. Chen and she's just like, oh yeah, I'm here. And then she goes, you should come up to my hotel room for like drinks and a dance or whatever. So they go up. And then Eddie's like, we got to leave. And Mrs. Chen goes, oh, can I have one dance? And then Venom like rips off of Eddie and starts dancing. And it's this full-blown dance number for nothing.
And literally the sole purpose of that, was that so that the demonic cricket creature thing from space can go find them and immediately attack the hotel. Then it just so happens at that very moment, the military shows up. So it was like, it was all a plot convenience just to advance it forward.
I mean, that is the movie to a T, is plot convenience. You brought this up last night, and I know it bugs you as much as me, but like at the very beginning of the film, and the audience out there has probably seen it. It's that scene in all the trailers of Eddie hanging onto the side of a plane. Like, it doesn't make that scene just sort of breaks your brain, and it's like 5 minutes in because Eddie's like, oh, we need to get back to America. How do we do it? So Venom just sticks him to the side of a plane, which wouldn't Eddie freeze to death? Like, he's not in the symbiote. He's just a person with like symbiote hands sticking to the side. So yeah, wouldn't Eddie die or at least get major frostbite or whiplash or whatever? And then at one point, when they transform, somebody inside the plane sees Venom, but they just go like, oh my gosh, and nobody does anything. There's no indication that they're gonna land or whatever. Then one of those big bugs jumps up and starts trying to fight Eddie on top of the plane. There's a small scene where when it lands, you see the inside of the plane and it shakes. That's it. Nobody like acknowledges that there's a giant space monster on top of them. They get into a full-on like fist fight, bouncing off and down the plane, and nothing happens. And then at the end, Venom kicks the thing off into the jet, like the turbine for the plane, and nobody notices. Like, it just keeps going, which is not how a plane engine would work in that situation. It would immediately explode. And then it also, like, this really bugged the shit out of me, Jacob, because the creature bug thing goes into the jet, but then it lands in like chunks, like big chunks. And it can like
to a point where it completely blew out the engine, and it was like, okay, is anyone worried about those people in that plane? Okay, I guess we're just not going to acknowledge them anymore.
They're not acknowledged at all. There's not even like a line of dialogue later on. It's just, like you said, it's all plot convenience. It's all, this happens now because it's a movie. Let it happen. It's really, really bad, guys. Like, this movie, do not watch it. I mean, the harsh criticism I gave it, and this is how you know it's bad, is that I said that this isn't even a movie I would like put on if it was on FX on like a Saturday afternoon. Like, if I was scrolling TV and I was bored and I had like an hour, let's say, oh, I'm gonna go meet Jacob for some drinks or whatever, but we're not meeting till 5. It's 4 right now. Flip. Oh, Venom 3. Fuck that.
It's bad. Like, it's bad on all metrics that you can judge about them. The characters don't mean anything. The plot is just a mess. There is like literally 30 minutes in, I was kind of saying like, what are we doing here in this movie? Like, I still don't understand the purpose. Like, remember like one of the opening scenes where the female scientist, she wakes up in her big luxurious, I guess, house or apartment or whatever it is, and it's all framed like she's gonna be a major character in the film, and then next thing you know, she just disappears. Like, you don't even see her anymore.
Well, they even gave her like that really elaborate backstory where it's like her and her brother were out playing one day and like aliens hit them with lightning, and because they were holding hands, like she was grounded and it like, but the lightning killed her arm, but her brother wasn't, so he died. And that's supposed to be her whole like, this is why I'm against aliens. But it doesn't, they show the flashback and then she's gone and she doesn't do anything. Like it's so weird. It's bad in a way that we don't normally see bad movies. Again, it is just the Venom Fox AAA version of the Digimon movie. It's just crap smashed together, and I hope you'll pay me money to do it. And also, like, we got 3 movies in this trilogy where the final fight is a symbiote on a symbiote. I don't know, man. That just feels boring and lazy and just like, we've been here, all right? Like, all right.
Well, it's the problem. It's the problem with this whole thing. It's like Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, so they try to make all of these obscure movies about like off-brand like Spider-Man villains. But it's like, first of all, they're villains, so it's like you're trying to do a movie about bad guys where it's like they're not really bad guys, they're just kind of not as bad as the other bad guys. It's like, well, what does that mean? Then you can't have Spider-Man in the movie either, so it's like the entire interest point. No one wants to see a solo Venom movie without Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's the whole reason why people want to see Venom in the first place. You're not even putting them in the movies, so no one cares on that front either. And then on top of all that, it's like, yeah, then who you're gonna pluck out of obscurity to be the villain in all of these films? And it's like, oh yeah, who's in our row gallery that we can do a one-off shot with? And it's like you have to literally
all symbiotes, yeah.
You have to find like some, like I said, off-brand obscure character who was in episode 6 in 1983 and turn him into like a movie villain and try to make people care. It's like Sony, they're so desperate for money, and they're losing a lot. They just don't understand. It's like, this idea is never going to work. Like, it's just not going to work. You don't have the pieces, kid. Like, you just don't.
Do you remember? I think Timon brought this up to me the other day, but remember in the trailer for Morbius when they put the poster of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and it said like murderer, and everybody was like, "Oh snap, we're gonna get Spider-Man in this. It's directly linked." And then movie comes out, no mention whatsoever. Somebody does an interview with the director, I think it's like CBR, and they're like, "What's up with that scene?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I had no idea that was going to be there. The studio put that in the trailer process." And I'm like, so you guys know your weakness is the fact that you don't have Spider-Man, and yet you don't. There's like, if Fox went to Marvel and made a deal and they were like, all right, we'll take 70%, 80% of this, like, or even if they took a lower stake, if they were like, we'll take 40% of whatever this movie makes, if Marvel, and we'll let Marvel use Spider-Man, whatever movie that is with Spider-Man will make so much more money than all of these solo things combined, that 30% that they're taking is still going to be more profit than whatever. I saw Leslie asking in the chat, will Venom 3 make its money back? Only because of China. So these movies aren't making money anymore. And so, I mean, do a partnership with Marvel.
Keep it in perspective. So the first Venom movie did $850 worldwide. The second one did about $500 worldwide. This one right now, after about a week,
wasn't the second one also a pandemic film or around the pandemic, or am I getting that wrong?
I don't think so, actually. I think it was right before the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken.
No excuse then.
No, this was right after.
It came out in 21. So
it was September.
Right after.
Yeah. Well, we were pretty much open back up by September 2021. So you can't really. And so then you have this one, which so far has made 182 on $120 million budget. So, I mean, it might be profitable when it's all said and done, but it's not going to be profitable by much.
It's going to be like another one of the, or it's going to be like Guardians 3, where it probably makes back its budget and maybe like lunch budget for the next like crew, and that's about it. Like, this is not going to be a great movie. I don't even know what happened here. Just stop giving our entertainment jobs to Londoners or to British or Canadians. They don't know what they're doing.
It just goes to show you. And then it makes it even worse. They're still going to move forward with the stupid Sinister Six idea, We're going to put them all. So what you're going to do now, you're going to have individual movies that have already colossally failed. And are they trying to do like an anti-blockbuster where it's like, hey, let's take all of these bombs and put them into one movie and hopefully people will go see it. So yeah, let's put Morbius, let's put Madam Web, let's put Rhino,
Craven.
Craven, yeah. Let's put all these failed movies and then the one film, and maybe we'll get. Hey, might as well just give it a $250 million budget too while you're at it, because why not?
No,
you know, start there.
200, and then you double it in like 3 years when you got to
exactly.
do like.
There we go.
And then you balloon it up to about 385 once you have to reshoot it twice.
Beautiful.
I liked what Rick was saying last night on your show. Rick Aragon, if you guys don't know him, go check him out. But he was like. He's like, I don't understand why they introduced Null in this movie. And all of us were like, yeah, it's dumb and they're marketing, whatever. And he's like, no. I don't understand, because who is he going to fight? Who's left? Madam Web? Is Null going to fight Madam Web? Great. And like, I was watching, I was cracking up at that statement. I'm like, yeah, that's literally all they can really
That's literally all they have left.
And then it's also weird because like, if they do let's say they do a Sinister Six movie, and by some miracle somebody upstairs decides like, oh hey, let's get Spider-Man, everybody's gonna go into that movie. Yeah, somebody at this point, that's who it might take. But like, I don't understand why. Damn, now I lost my train of thought because we were laughing. Damn it. Oh yeah, if they get the rights to Spider-Man and they put Spider-Man in a Sinister Six movie, everybody's going to be rooting for Spider-Man. Everybody is going to be rooting for the antagonist of your movie. What are you actually doing?
You know what? It's even going to be even dumber. They'll do a Sinister Six movie, and then Spider-Man still won't be in the movie.
But they'll just make a bunch of like cheeky like spider references throughout the movie. Like, oh wow, you got me crawling up the walls. Don't say that. It gives me like it. I have a thing, like stupid shit like that. It will be.
When you say things like that, I feel like less of a man.
Well, I'm getting tired of everyone's favorite neighborhood superhero.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stupid. Yeah, like, oh, what are you gonna do, Madam Web? You're gonna shoot some web?
I'm sorry,
stuff like that.
Any writer who puts a reference like that onto the piece of paper needs to have rocks thrown at them. That's the only way they're gonna learn.
It's those kind of references, or I'm getting really tired of when somebody does a cheeky Spider-Man reference and they're like, oh yeah, that would be amazing. I'm like, shut up, we've done it. Like, we've already used all of those like word plays. Go home. I want something else.
So Leslie Tarkin says they'll put Spider-Gwen in the Sinister Six movie. Now, you guys sitting here thinking like Sinister Six are going to be the bad guys. Nope. That's Suicide Squad.
Guys, do you understand how long
That's
it took me?
Suicide Squad.
Do you guys understand how long it took me to realize that Spider-Gwen and Gwenpool were two entirely different characters?
Do you know how long it took editorial?
Yeah,
exactly.
To figure that out? Yeah, there you go, Snyder. That was like they introduced them both at the same time, and then they were like, "Oh no, wait, that's our own character now, and now we're gonna go all over the place, and who knows what we're doing anymore? It's all dumb." All of
Thanks, Heather Antos.
All of that stuff. Yeah, seriously, that was her. Now that you bring it up. But yeah, guys, don't check out this movie. I don't even know what circumstance you would want to check out this movie. There's not even a cool scene I would recommend to go look up on YouTube. Like, the fights are all ass. Everything is ass.
And not in the good way.
And not in the good way. But, in the bad sort of way. In the Veilguard sort of way.
Exactly. Speaking of ass, and we have somebody here who'd really like to talk about this. So we've got FU YouTube here. He's saying he's having a great time with the Veilguard reveal. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look. The Dragon Age Veilguard cutscene where BioWare lectures the player on misgendering is just as ham-fisted and embarrassing as it sounds. Spencer, you wrote this. Is it just as bad as the screenshots have shown us?
This is almost worse than all of the screenshots. So, for those of you who don't know, Dragon Age the Veilguard comes out tomorrow, and it is the latest entry in the Dragon Age series. It has thrown up a lot of red flags over its preview cycle because of it features a lot of changes from the original, like the last series. So lots of mechanics are gone. Lots of one of the big things about the original Dragon Age line was that your character would carry over with all his decisions throughout all 3 games. And while some decisions, worked out better than others, yada, yada, they still did it. And then when Veilguard came, they straight up said, oh no, just create a new character. We're not going to do any of that. And they simplified everything. They basically Redditified this entire franchise. Like
Tumblrified.
Tumblrified works too, Redditified, just very appealing to the modern audience way. So we all saw the debacles that we're breaking down with the the super focus on all the body options, the creator of Dragon Age coming out and yelling at everybody. So this game hasn't had a lot going for it in the lead up. Now it is out, and if you have been on Twitter or YouTube or any social media site over the past 2 or 3 days, you'll have seen that this was a case of the fears being completely warranted and on point, and less speculation and more just like pattern recognition, right? So this game is filled with every, what do you want to like, DEI, neoliberal design sense that you can possibly think of, with uglyified characters being written like they are posting on Reddit. Just all of these things are in this game. There's literally nothing anybody can say that would be too over the top, because this game does it, and it does it proudly. Yeah, exactly. So this specific cutscene is the one, or to what Cider was saying, there are lots of screenshots going around, but this cutscene in particular, I felt highlighted everything wrong with this game, from its aesthetics, to its writing, to its gameplay systems. This is so bad that if like Cider or Jacob or Nerdigans or I or anybody tried to write this as like a parody, people would like go, you guys are dumb as hell. This is way too on the nose. Like there's no way.
Guys,
right? Like,
this is Daily Wire bad, okay?
Yeah.
This is Daily.
Yeah. So how do you want to play it, Cider? Do you want to like just clip through it? Do you want to just play it straight? I have no idea how EA BioWare cares about their content.
Might
It's
as
in
well
embed.
just-
It's down. It's what the hell? The site broke on me. I got to fix that. But yeah, it's right there. That Twitter link. Yeah. Well, there's that. Yes, and so like this is one of this is the first one I saw where Tosh decides she's going to be non-binary, right? And her quote there is non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on. This is so like this was the first thing I saw, and to me, I was like, oh, that is some very like self-serving writing. It doesn't fit the tone of fantasy. If you guys know the Kunari, they actually have in canon like explanations for like non-binary and trans or whatever in their culture. It's not called that. It's a different thing, but they have that system already there. They didn't need to go, yeah, we're non-binary. They already had their thing. So this to me, I was like, oh boy, is this really going to be it? And then everything kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that's why I put the question out there, Spencer, when I saw like the pronouns and stuff in the character customization.
Yeah,
I put it out there on Twitter. I'm like, since the lore already exists, why not just expand upon it even more and create your own like terminology for it and just keep going with it? Like just create your own pronouns, create your own terminology for like trans. Be creative with it.
Right. And that's how we all would think one would approach this. But
yeah,
as we know, as we'll see, the writing staff for this game, they aren't capable of that almost, right? Like they don't know anything else but one-to-one political references in my media and directly yelling at the player, which is literally what happens in this cutscene. It is bonkers.
Pounding that snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so
Oh yeah, hold on, pause real quick, Cider. Just a setup for you guys so you know what's going on in the scene. It is the player right there is in red. It's his party. They're all hanging out and they're listening to Isabella here. She is from the other game. She's a pirate queen. They're listening to her tell a story about a mission she did with Tosh, who's sitting right next to her, who's the non-binario. So that's what we're doing. That's
Non-binario.
Non-binario. But so yeah, I just wanted that set up.
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barv.
Oh. Okay. A barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad
Just
blood
random
among your
push-ups?
crew's Not good
Cool.
for morale, but there's not always time for big
She explains
drawn-out
it, it gets worse.
apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a barv.
What?
So like right there,
What kind of line delivery was that? That
that
was
line delivery was really, really bad. I know this voice actor is not hitting her marks, but I wanted to note that
DEI.
100%. But I wanted to note, like right here, at regardless of the fact that it's surrounding like the non-binary thing with Tosh, this is sort of a more natural interaction, right? She refers to her past. She says we have this tradition. It's not even specifically like the tradition we do if we misgender. It's the tradition we do if we, screw up or if we insult somebody. To that end, I like so far. This is like, all right. Again, aside from the non-binary thing, it's like this is a pretty standard sort of fantasy thing, and then it goes off the rails, hyper hard here.
Yeah, I could feel it.
Go.
Xeno can too.
I heard it.
I'm glad
Or
the
I
Lords
heard
of
him.
Fortune have Tash's back.
Oh, Tash isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Sorry, I gagged on the pronouns there. Oh,
It keeps going.
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours. Huh. Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants.
this is all of it. They just loaded up the DEI revolver and just said, "You're getting the whole mag dump, baby. We're just back."
That's what I'm saying. But this is where I take particular issue right here with this clip, because right from this point, it goes from very like admittedly ham-fisted in-universe dialogue to Isabella is basically looking at you, the player, coming through the screen like Sadako from The Ring and being like, listen, this is what you do with non-binary people. It's embarrassing. It's so bad.
Hint, hint,
Well-
wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
And she's hideous.
And out of them too.
Well, she is non-binary, so.
Any reason you can't just apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling a barv, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that
What is this? Are we?
That's
Is
what
it
I'm
fucking Barney? What is
That's what I'm
this?
saying. This bit right here is it straight up just like, I am breaking the fourth wall. I'm talking to you, player, do this. It is so, and like the thing, like we'll close it out because like the end of her sentence builds upon my next point. But yeah, this is not great.
Leslie, they're the pirates that don't steal anything. Okay, they're the good pirates.
We are the
It's like
pirates.
VeggieTales, right?
Exactly.
Right, exactly,
They're the VeggieTale pirate. Yeah, that's what Isabella is. She's a VeggieTale. She's Larry.
That's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about
Look at that. Can
Dude,
you
this is
just? This is like a
protection.
Disney animatronic. Look at that face.
dramatic.
Yeah, like I
The
said,
head is
production value
frozen.
Oh, sit right here and hear a tale. Look.
The head is frozen. It's not even jogging back and forth. There's no movement to it. She was just doing
like
push-ups,
on a
and you're telling
swivel,
me she
like-
sits there and talks like this just all the time. She doesn't move at all, just speaking to you just like this. In fact, her eyes just move
like
back
that.
and forth, and in no way at all emotes with her body. Like, what? Was she made out of wax suddenly?
They make it about them. Oh, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel
Wow. That's right out of real life.
Thank you.
Feel
This
so
is what
bad
this
about
is. Or yeah, just hold on. Let it play out. Let it play out.
that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay. Yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barv puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
So this is what pisses me off so much.
You hear that,
about
kids?
this-
So the next time you make a mistake, instead of apologize, you just said, "Eat my ass," and then
Like,
walk away.
I hate
That's
this
what it is.
this depiction of this rhetoric, because it's literally, they say, oh, what if they apologize, right? What if they genuinely feel sorry? And the Pirate Queen's only response is, oh, when people do that, they just make it all about themselves. We're not about that here. And it's like, but so what? You want this whole prostration, this whole like ceremony over somebody doing an innocent mistake? Like this is so bizarre.
Well, you know,
yeah,
late stage, you know, social justice, they don't believe in any kind of redemption, like, whatsoever. So it's like, you know,
unless you're a villain, and then oh, everything you've done is completely okay and it's not your fault and you should be let out immediately, Joker or whatever. Like, this is, again, like, I can't get over how just everything we complain about in video games these days is right here in this cutscene. Poor production levels, poor, like, really bad writing. I don't know if you guys saw, like, the dialogue down there, that dialogue wheel. There are a lot of phrases on there that's just like, wow, that's so open-minded. Oh my gosh, I support you. Like, it's very dumb. It just doesn't feel like you're playing a fantasy game. It feels like you're playing a Hugbox simulator. It's very just like, I know who this is for. This is for the modern audience, but I feel so bad for, like, genuine Dragon Age fans. Like, shout out to our friend Marvin the Movie Monster. He's played all of them ever since they released, and he was so excited when a new one got announced. And as things have released, I've watched him and listened to his voice just like give up. So yeah, this is,
you know what? Maybe it's a good thing that Guerrilla Games gave up on Killzone.
on Killzone.
Maybe it's for the best.
Or, dude, you know that they would, if they made a new Killzone game, it would be all like, oh, we're sorry that the Hellgas to look like Nazis. That wasn't what we were supposed to do. They're gonna look like generic. So I don't know, just stupid crap like that.
So dumb.
Yeah, this is your Veilguard. This is where your Dragon Age is going. I'm not a big personal fan of this franchise because I was never a big sword and sorcery type of guy. But yeah, I can't imagine how actual fans of this must feel, because this is really bad. Oh yeah. Like it was a rhetorical ask. I know how they feel.
No, yeah, because I've been talking to them as I've been, posting some of this cringy dialogue, and like the one thing that I know in terms of like the audience, and I think it's funny that someone posted, I guess there's like this forum or whatnot, and for Dragon Age fans, and they don't want like haters up in there because they want decency. I'm like, dude, do you not realize that the Dragon Age fans that are not anti Veilguard people are horny as hell, and they are thirsting over the weirdest characters?
I mean, that's okay. That I don't know what that really has to do with anything, because that's just any fandom.
No, I'm just saying this is the fandom you're talking about. This is the fans that they are going after, the safe horny people, like with Hades and stuff like that we saw.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Who's
going after who?
I'm talking about, this is BioWare's target audience for the Veilguard, is the same people that we saw thirsting over the most random people in Hades.
The nerdy games, we have to bonk you with a stick.
Well, yeah,
no, I get it.
Them nerdy. I get it, but it's sort of it's sort of missing the target. It's like, yes, those two groups do have a lot of overlap, but the appeal of Veilguard wasn't specifically to horny. It's to, do you want to feel like a good person for playing a video game? That's what this is. Do you want to play a video game that reinforces your worldview? That should be the question all GameStop employees ask every like blue-haired woman who walks into their store, because this is the game for them.
And another thing, just real quick, because Spencer, you've brought this up here in the past. Like,
yeah,
occasionally you've gone after, like, let's say fan bases or like certain like creators when there's something in like a video game or a movie that could border on woke, but not exactly, and people kind of go all in on it and trying to blow it out of proportion and whatnot. But the problem is that when people see stuff like this, whenever there's like a little hint of like something non-binary, gender, like obviously the big thing a while back ago was like, oh, they put pronouns in a video game, and everyone had like a huge like meltdown about it, right? But then, like I said, when people see stuff like this, where it's so clearly like nauseating and whatnot, whenever they get any kind of hint of something, yeah, exactly. Whenever they get any kind of hint of something like this, even if it's not like full blown like this thing is, they just completely reject it wholesale because like they're just so sick and tired of even like the threading of this type of nonsense that they just go out and reject anything that remotely looks or sounds like stuff like this. And this is big part of the problem.
Oh, and like I do, you're right. I do bring it up. Like I have brought it up a lot lately, the very reactionary levels from people. And like, but that's sort of what I always acknowledge when I talk about it is like, yes, I wish we were in a era or a, like a time period, era is the same word. I don't know what I'm doing here, that like we could be more, wait and see, like where everybody would be more on, okay, let's see what happens. But I completely understand why people leap and jump at the hint of anything, because it's like you either get, you know, maybe it's just like she on your character select screen and you can ignore it, or it's crap like this. And why would I want to take any risk at all of any of that coming into a video game? Yes, I will pass, because if you start saying, oh yeah, we took a lot of attention to detail to the non-binary characters, it's like, well, okay, that tells me that you probably spent like 6 months writing the scenario. What about the main villain or whatever? What about the actual game? It's just the priorities are completely screwed.
But then you have the opposite side of the spectrum, and I saw this with some gaming journalists where they're saying Dragon Age has always been woke. And it's like, no, there's a difference between like woke like this, and then the original Dragon Age game where it was just like, you could make the argument that it's progressive, sure.
Right, exactly.
But woke, no, that's not what we're talking about.
And we see this with a lot of franchises, Nerdigans. I mean, I know you've seen it with like One Piece, pretty much anything that like drops a new thing that people get into. There will always be the defenders that come out and go, oh, this was always woke, or whatever word they want to use. And it's one of those word games we talk about on the show all the time, because you're completely right, Nerdigans. Progressivism is different from woke. They're very, 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 very intertwined. But woke is the aggressive, going into your face, you know, taking offense to everything, putting in writing things like this, that, you know, it's not just, oh yeah, there's a character in here that's
Whenever I hear that argument, oh, this was always what I just envision myself like in the Royal Rumble and just throwing that person over the top rope and out of the floor. Like, that's just my.
Honestly, that's probably the most appropriate response you can give them, because it's never true. There's never been any time anybody said, oh, this has always been woke, where it's completely like, oh yeah, in 1990 we had Ash sitting down and lecturing me on how to be a good person. Not necessarily. That's not what we did. Pokemon's kind of a bad example for that one, but you guys know what I mean.
No, I do.
The
I get
lecturing. It's just it's the near literal fourth wall break to turn to the player and go, it doesn't matter if you are sorry for screwing up, for misgendering somebody. You need to pay. Like that's what this entire exchange shows me, is like, even if you screwed up,
I need blood.
Right, that's exactly it. It's like, you need to prove to me with your blood, your sweat, that you are actually sorry. And it's like, what, like Nerdigan said, that's cult behavior. It's bonkers that you can't just go like, oh, you misgendered me. Yeah, it's probably an innocent, mistake. I know I was born a man. I look more mannish. It's fine. It's insane. There's no forgiveness here, and they're trying to frame the unforgiving nature of their cult as a positive in this game. So off the deep end, just completely off the deep end.
And not only that, I mean, like, we saw the change in the character designs. I've seen so many people pissed about Isabella's character design changed, and Dorian's in particular. Those two are the ones where people are furious.
Well, there was the general overall art style change from like photorealistic fantasy to a mobile game. I know that pissed off a lot of people. And then, like we were talking about, Isabella, all of these characters, if they appeared before, they got hit with the DEI stick, and they now look frumpy and weird and just not human.
Yeah.
They look like animatronics. So
pretty close.
We don't have a particular graphic for this because I haven't really written it up. I don't maybe I'll write it up. We will see. But it turns out that this is sort of here, Cider, I'm sending you a link to look at in the back. So one of the
I
the
saw
writers, I figured you would have Nerdigans, but earlier today with Veilguard about to come out, we, the sort of NDA on all the developers is lifting and people can come out and say, oh yeah, I did work on this now. We learned from one of those employees that, or from the employee herself, one Laura Kate Dale was a writer on this title. Now, if you're not familiar with Laura Kate Dale, she is a Kotaku journalist who has had many controversies around her reporting. I think the one that a lot of people will remember probably off the top of their head is when the Persona 5 DLC came out for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and you got Joker and the Persona stage. In the Persona stage, it includes the theme song to Persona 5 as the background music, which starts with the lyrics, "We started." Now, Laura Kate Dale heard this, went to Kotaku and published an article saying Nintendo includes disabled slur in Super Smash Brothers. And she thought that they were saying we retarded instead of we started. Like she didn't even try. She didn't even go, oh, is this a Nintendo game? Am I hearing it wrong? She went, I heard this. This is what we're doing. So this, aside from that, Dale has just been a sort of notorious figure in the gaming journalism scene as sort of like the she basically does embody everything that is Kotaku, right? Like the bad takes, the caring way more about her social standing than anything else. Now,
even uglier Alyssa Mercante,
right? Like there's
she's a consultant
in their best.
Well, she's a consultant too, according to her Twitter feed and her Patreon.
That's just me. Yeah. But so they all are. It just means that somebody can hire them. And I don't know who anybody does except for clearly BioWare. So if you go down, Cider, to the book section, which I believe is the second section under under her game journalism section. Good gosh, what a dumb person. But this is sort of what Laura Kate Dale has written prior to being tapped to join the the writing team for the fictional Veilguard. So her first book, Things I Learned from Mario's Butt, a series of gaming butt critiques.
Of course.
All right. Her second book, a memoir called Uncomfortable Labels, My Life as a Gay Autistic Trans Woman. Her third book, Gender Euphoria, Stories of Joy from Trans, Non-Binary, and Intersex Writers. Dale's fourth book, Who Hunts the Whale? Who Hunts the Whale is summarized on its website.
I blame Ronald Reagan for all this because Ronald Reagan shut down all the wacko baskets. Yeah. Like there used to be a home for people like this, and then Reagan shut it. Thanks, Reagan, dick.
You're destroying this country even in death. So on the website, on Dale's website, she describes the book Who Hunts the Whale as, quote, a completely fictional, entirely made-up novel set in the imaginary world of the video game industry. Written with a gamer's wit and an insider's precision, it holds the real-world business up to a carnival house of mirrors to give a satirical look at the human cost of a rapacious market that must constantly be fed new content. So what does that sound like? That doesn't sound like she's going to actually do satire. It sounds like it's a big old self-insert novel where she kind of just plays out her fantasies of owning the chuds. I almost guarantee if we pick that up, there's going to be some dumb references to Gamergate or, oh, look at these guys who want their characters naked or whatever. Like I can just tell from that description, that's what this book is going to be. And then her fifth book, Me and My Dysphoria Monster, is, quote, a children's picture book about the experiences of gender dysphoria in childhood. So that is her sort of writing pedigree. A bunch of very...
It's not a dysphoria monster. It's called a demon, ma'am. You were possessed by a demon.
It's a more marketable title, okay? But so this is the kind of talent that BioWare went out to write on Veilguard. It's bizarre, right? Like I have no other real word for it. You have a video game journalist whose biggest claim to fame is getting their crapping their pants over mishearing a Nintendo song and a bunch of like very clearly self-indulgent self stories. I don't even know what you want to call them, like memoirs. They're not. I don't. It's all dumb. It's all garbage, and this sort of just shows this is where the direction these big studios are going in, right? Like obviously we already knew that, but this is just more and more confirmation. They don't want people who write about the actual stories or care about the actual property. They want people who can inject real world rhetoric and break your escapism. So buckle up for all that. This is not even the future. This is the world we currently live in and have been living in, unfortunately.
And so now you have a trans rights activist, and that's what Dale is surfaced for. And well, it was disbanded in 2020, and this has been 21. They co-organized a trans rights protest, and this person has also been attended by Peter Tatchell. So Tatchell, something like that. And this is another trans rights activist thing. So this is, we have people in the comment over here in the chat saying that's a man. And, well, you know, it could just be a lady who has some very passionate ideas about what crisscrosses in that life. But for sure,
the personal life literally says Dale is transgender and married to a pocket. So yeah, it's pretty much.
Okay, I tried not to look. But try not to know more about these people.
I mean, first of all, that photo right there. You ever watch like one of those old episodes of like CSI where they're looking for criminals and then they're doing like the background check and it's like the little computer is scanning through all the photos and it lands on that one criminal they found. Like enhance on this guy. It's like, yeah, that's literally what that photo looks like.
Yeah, we did a scan of the teal hair sample found at the scene, and it came back matching this person.
Quick, go through the Antifa database. We'll find them.
Yeah, bing, 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 bing. Oh, damn it!
Never mind. We got to refine it.
But yeah, so that's who you're dealing with as a trans rights activist, someone who's actually, you know, not just actually like on the internet about it, but in person about it. So it's not a surprise why this language is so prevalent and so passionately placed throughout the game. So this might be one of those.
The director too. I was gonna say the director of this game, who's gone into hiding, is transgender as well. So there's that.
Yeah, Corinne Bush locked down her their Twitter account.
I now know what that Asian dude from the "It's So Tiresome" meme feels like now. It's just like, that's mostly where we're at.
Tiresome.
Don't worry, it gets worse. Because guess what?
Once again, people, this is still another reason why I have a PS3 by choice.
But there's also Cider, are you gonna pull up the transgender?
Then you're not playing the last Killzone game. It was on the PS5. I know you need it.
Are you gonna pull up the transgender? Because I mean, the face of a hero that gets things done is transgender, apparently.
Sure.
Yeah, we covered it in the video. I don't remember where I put it. Shoot. But yeah, so that's how that worked over there. Is they had you had to choose your identity. There it is. I found it. There we go. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We run a very professional ship here. I absolutely know what's going on all the time.
Well, once again, single-handedly blame Nerdigans for ruining the show.
What did I do?
Nothing. Anyway. We have this right here. So as you can see right here, we'll zoom in a little closer in case you really want to read it with your own eyes. You've been warned. It says take a hard look in it, kid. Now, that means like a mirror, right? It's what it is. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done. And this
even
little
before
piece
we get
of text,
into anything else, that's just bad writing. You look in the mirror and it's the face of somebody who can get it.
But it doesn't say mirror. It says look in it, kid.
Well, I mean, you said it's in reference to a mirror, so I'm presuming it's the mirror. So, but they're basically just saying, like, it's that line, the face of a hero who can always get it done. That's not a fantasy line. That is a corporate boardroom. Everybody needs, you know, we can't be. We've got to include everybody and not exclude everybody. Sort of pep talk. That's not anything. Again, it's all written by an HR department.
Take a look at this. It says, look at that icon. It's a three-way intersection icon. You can go straight, you can go left, you can go right. You know what that means. 3 genders. But guess what the gender in the middle is? The thickest, widest, most prominent arrow. Right there. Isn't that
Is that
interesting?
where the dialogue box is highlighting right now?
Well, no. See, look at the icon in the middle of that. It's a 3-way intersection marker. And
Yeah,
it's
but
to
that's
tell you.
just the standard marker, though. That's for all options. That's just
I
the
thought,
graphic they use.
I thought we saw in the trailer that they had like they would change if you had more than 2 options.
Well, I would only
anyway.
say probably not because it looks like there's 5 options on the screen, right?
Nope, there's 3. There's I'm getting there. I love who I am. Feels good to see the real me and then back. That's what it is. So, but below the introductory text about hero that gets it done, establishes the transgender identity and unlocks new dialogue options in future conversations. So if you're a completionist, if you're a person that wants to fully complete a game, well, guess what? There is a whole sub-quest related to how you pee, which bathroom you wish to use, and who you wish to tell your gender to, not even share in that experience. Just tell them who it is. That's a whole new gameplay thing, because guess what happens when you choose it? Here we go. And so we get the same situation here. Now it's a question mark for how you respond to Rook saying this to you. It says, take a hard look in it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done. And the person, your character you're replying with says, scars are lessons learned. My scars are badges of honor. These scars are sexy.
Are they though?
So I don't know if this pertains to having the top surgery scars option turned on. I don't know. Obviously, it's not. She's not sporting. This is not Rook. To my understanding, the character you're in the mirror facing here is not Rook. It's just the base start out to change your character from here thing. And so, they obviously have selected the trans option because it's gone. And so now you have this what it is. In the video I did about this, the scars being sexy and her not having a facial scar, that kind of indicates to me that it's a surgical scar. But I'm open to interpretation, but there's no visual scar here for it to be talking about.
I mean, it could just be scars on her arms. It could be scars on her legs. Like it could be battle scars. There's not enough information in these 2 images for me to make any conclusions.
Right.
On my end.
But that's what happens when you turn the transgender option on, is that you get a new dialogue system, and this is part of that new dialogue system, apparently. That's what's being shown to us, is that the top option is before you choose the trans option, and then now the bottom one that we're looking at right now is after you choose the trans option. So we do have a $2...
But you're just... Okay, what are you pointing out here? Because all you're saying is this is a dialogue tree. That's
what it was presented to us by Carlos Bravo when he was playing the game. That's where the came through first, and so he said that when he selected the trans option, these were the next dialogue trees.
That's what happens with any option in the game, right? Like you pick an option, and that you're going to have more responses pop up.
Well, no, it says right here that you're going to get special options if you select to be trans. And now these are the options that are presented to you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And so that's what he's concluding, is that it's telling you that the transgender scars. So the only one I can say is that these scars are sexy.
Even that, like, I'm sure there are other instances in this game where it's like, if you choose a sword proficiency, it'll give you different dialogue options. Like,
oh, absolutely.
That's where I'm like, I get the concern, but I also think that in this particular instance, making any conclusion is just jumping too hard, too fast.
Well, players who play this have said that the transgender one does have new dialogue options with...
Oh, I'm sure.
This specifically, it takes you into a chapter of the game where Ta'ash is explaining her gender and how their species.
Yeah, if the dialogue, like I said, the dialogue actually changes to make the reference towards scars, but only for like the transgender character. Mm-hmm. They're clearly telling you what the transgender scars in that context is referring to. It's referring to obviously the obviously the bottom or top surgery, whatever you're doing there. If it's completely different from the normalized, character, like I would only give it a pass if like both dialogues are the same. But if it's one specifically for that character, then yeah, they changed it on purpose. But no, I was gonna say earlier, just a second ago, that was like, I've never been a big fan of these type of games, like to begin with. Like the RPG-ish type games have never like been my flavor. It was like I'm one of those weirdos who was like the beat 'em ups and like the shooting games and like fighting games, stuff like that, more action stuff. Like these games never truly appealed to me. Like I've never been that person, be like, oh, I get to vicariously live through a character that I create. Like I just don't have that kind of patience. My attention span is not that good. But even now, it's like, that was for games for like 20, 30 years ago. Now it's like these games just sound abysmal to me, where before I was just more indifferent towards these type of games. I didn't have like a hatred for it. Like now I can't even imagine myself like wasting any amount of time like playing like games like this. And this is the garbage. Like I said, I know I'm not in the gamer community anymore, but I mean, this is the garbage that they're just force feeding you guys like this day. It's like, what's the old bit there? Aren't you embarrassed? Is that where we're at right now with a lot of this stuff? Because I mean, if this is what they're expecting you to shell out, what, $70 for? Isn't that how much video games cost now?
Something like that, yeah. I'm sure that's the price. I
don't
know what they're charging anymore. I haven't bought a new video game in like 2 years.
and this is the quality of stuff that we're getting now. It's like, come on, man. It's like, it's just rotten, man.
Yep. But again, I mean, this is just showing us that when you select to be a trans character, the game has a moderately, not severely different, like, playthrough path, because Ta'ash is, from what we've seen with the, with what Nuri has provided and what Natalia has provided with their, maybe ill-gotten review codes, if you'd like to use that term. But what they've provided are screenshots of the character having a more, they're talking more about the gender inequality, the gender expression, and how to lead more people into fully understanding who they are. And so that is, that's different than when you play a character that is not identifying that. So that apparently is how.
Yeah, okay, but here's what I'm trying to say is like, yes, it's different, but that is expected in these games when you take different options. Again, if you pick a certain class, you get different options. If you make certain ethical choices, you get different options. So this to me is just standard gameplay. Like we can have a talk about all the.
I mean, in
the background, but this to me, this is just gameplay.
In the context that if you're going out of your way to select a transgender character to have this dialogue in the first place, then yeah, you're going to add a whole bunch of stuff in the game specifically to pen it to that person, right?
Because, but that's what I'm trying to say is like, if you go and you select that option for the character, of course you're going to have more trans or whatever dialogue related options because you made that choice. If you don't make them, you don't get them. So like that's just, again, if you picked a sword user over an arrow user, you would also get different dialogues. If you leaned more like good over bad, you get different dialogue choices. So like, to me, going, oh yeah, I'm transgender, and having that story over there, that just is that's just, being thorough in fleshing out your game. Again, I don't think it's a good game or the writing is great, but that's building the game.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is for Dragon Age, correct? This is the concept. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's hard to take a hardline stance on a game that's a bunch of magical nonsense to begin with, because it's not like you could. I mean, like I said, you're kind of in the realm of fantasy to begin with, so like kind of unironically, they fall into that trap in and of itself. But it's like after a while, it's like I think we all know exactly like what's going on here, and it just gets tiresome out after a bit. I mean. Like I said, I'm just really kind of at a point now where it's like, even if I wanted to kind of get back into gaming, it's just like there's really just nothing else here for me like anymore. Like I said, I know that these were big hits with a certain subset of audience. I can admit that I'm not the target audience for this anymore, nor was I the target audience when this stuff was popular. But it's like everything that I've heard about this game, it's just like, yeah, you know what? I'll hard pass. I'll keep playing WWE SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain, or maybe I'll brush off like Tekken 4 or something like that, because then I can't do like the nonsense that modern gaming has become. Yeah, Tekken 4. I even got Def Jam Fight for New York. It was an expensive.
We need a new one of those, man. We need a new one of those. I'm still mad that we haven't.
Do we though? I'm being honest with you guys here. Like
main character.
Because I'm being honest now. Like I'm at the point now where it's like, like I said, stories like this. And then I think to myself, okay, all the games that I really wanted, like we've all talked about, wouldn't it be great if they made Bad Company 3? Or wouldn't it be great if they made like another Killzone? Or wouldn't it be great if they had, remade this game from my childhood and all this stuff? And I think the closest that I ever got was when they did Streets of Rage 4. And when I played Streets of Rage 4, I was like, yeah, something's kind of missing here. This doesn't really have that feel. Like the style is beat 'em up, but it's not the same as like the Genesis.
It doesn't have the soul. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to, like, say, if you want to let's do another Fight for New York or Def Jam game, it's like, really, do you really want that? Because instead of getting like cool rappers like DMX and Ludacris and Ice-T, you're gonna get like Little Uzi Vert and Lil Durk and all these like weirdo rappers that you never heard of, and they're not good. No one's gonna want to play with any of those guys. It's like, give me Method Man, give me Redman. I don't want what's his name, Chief Keef and people like that. I don't need Nicki Minaj. It's like those names don't appeal to me anymore. It's like it's the same concept of, let's say we want to bring back TRL, but do TRL in 2024. It's like, why would we want to do that? It's like, first of all, any of the music that I used to listen to was like 20, 30 years ago. Then if you want to bring it back now, it's like, I'm not listening to any of this garbage. It's like, what's even the point anymore?
No, it's a good point. Like the roster probably would be really, really, really awful, and then like the people we want would be secret characters. Like, and it'd only be like 3 of them.
I do want to mention this. I want to mention this about the Veilguard before I forget. Something I did see, and this was someone posted this as a spoiler, that apparently the for Tasha's story, it is basically like a transgender non-binary story. That's their full character arc. So it's like, so no matter what, even if you didn't choose like the transgender option right away, that is just in general that their character story arc. So it's just so frustrating that that's the route that they are going with. They could have done something completely different.
Like I said, if I have any advice to you gamers these days, go find an indie game on Steam. Like, there's a reason why people were playing Among Us for like 5 years, because it's a simple game where all you have to do is it's blue piece of turd and purple piece of turd, and you got to figure out which piece of turd is the killer, and that's all you need. You don't need any other thing but that, and then everyone was fine. And then we have these monstrosities of video games that get absurd amount of budgeting and money, and it just turns out just utter crap. Like, to me, as someone who's been out of the game for a while, it's not even really worth getting upset about anymore. I can understand if you're still deeply embedded in video gaming that this will kind of tick you off. And I'm not saying that you don't deserve to be ticked off, but for me, it's like I'm so disconnected to this crap. And now it's just like, it's the same thing we were mentioning with like Venom at this point.
Yeah,
it's like they're just giving you just one garbage film after another, and at a certain point you just got to tune out and be like, okay, this is just what's going to happen. We're just going to get garbage.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I don't feel anything but sort of like, yep, what'd you expect, right? Like, there's no anger anymore. We all saw it coming down the pipe. I mean, again, if I was a Dragon Age fan, maybe I would feel a lot differently, but just as a general member of the video game players association, I don't know what I'm saying here. Just as a general player, it's just like, wow, there we go again. Have fun with that. Let's see what you like. All right, now I'm just waiting for the sales. Show me that you got, like, this is the right design that everybody wants, that it's really appealing, and I'll be quiet. But it's not. It never is.
So, stuff like this makes me respect Nintendo more and more as time goes on.
We do have some super chats.
Super chats.
Do we now?
Yep. From all the way back at around 9:15, when we first got started with 01, we have High Zero from Scooby-Doo's for $2 Canadian. Right?
Zeno's a star.
Yeah, he's asleep.
Shh, don't say his name too loud. You'll summon him. But is this the same version of this game in Saudi Arabia? I don't believe it went to Saudi Arabia at all? I think it's banned
That's
there.
a good question. It's not. I have to imagine. So we don't know.
I
here,
want to
but
say I
feel
heard
like,
that, right? Isn't it?
I haven't heard that. Maybe it did, but like I would.
Well, that's another thing
that it is, right? How do you dodge around this?
That's another thing that really exposes like the agenda of a lot of these video games, because like I said, if you can't take your game to, like I said, an Islamic nation because they have rules on their book that says you can't do that, like some like movies, for example, right? Like if there's like a scene or two that's like questionable, they'll just cut it out and they'll keep the rest of the movie in there, right? But if it's so deep ingrained into the story that they won't release it wholesale, that tells you there's probably a little bit something more going on there if they're just completely killing it upright. And you can see here, it won't be released in the Middle East or North Africa. Yeah, I wonder who's in control of those nations. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
So yeah, there you go. It's not even going there. There was no way this would have made it there, because like Jacob just said, this identity politics stuff is way too embedded in the core of what this game is, right? Guys, like this, like we were saying, this cutscene isn't just it. There's the whole mission set that Cider and I were talking about that comes after it. There's the whole thing Nerdigans was just talking about, where Tasha's entire character arc revolves around her being non-binary or whatever. Like you can't just like change one name or like one word and be like, cool, release it. Like that's way too ingrained. Yeah.
It's like this. Like those of you guys who know me know I'm not the biggest fan of the Islamic region. Let's just call it that here. But if looking at the grand scheme of things, I'm more than fine than just handing over the entire gaming industry to a bunch of Saudi princes and just like hey, you guys make this now, because we don't know what we're doing. We're getting more, so you guys like make the video games. It's gonna be some sheik who has like $50 trillion of oil money just starts making all the video games moving forward now. It's like, yeah, sure, it's fine. I'm okay with this.
SNK, the company behind like Metal Slug, King of Fighters, all of that stuff, they're owned, I think, majorly owned by a Saudi prince. And they like straight up asked him like a year or two ago, like, what are your plans for, like, are you going to change anything? Are you going to use you're going to make SNK make more like Saudi Arabian centered games? And he's like, I just want them to be them. I just want them to make the games that they always have. Like, let them have their identity. And when was the last time we heard that over here? Every time we hear something out of here, it's like, yeah, we're changing this. We're updating this. We're bringing it into a new era. And it's like, all the development was fine before.
Well, and we do have another super chat from Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, member of the channel, for $2 American. The previous one was for also $2 American. It says, think of it as the pre-order bonus mission to be trans. So there you go.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't done that yet. I feel like that would be like a DLC.
Yeah, just get some 1980s synthwave to be the soundtrack of the film, and yeah, that's
8 years ago. That would have been a mission in GTA 5, was to go get Trevor a sex change so he could complete some type of drug running thing, and that would have been mission to be trans. That's what it would have been. Would have been done up like Mission Impossible, like this dildo will self-destruct within as soon as the mission stops playing.
No, it would have been like you take Trevor, you go to like a place like a doctor's office or whatever, and they're like, yeah, it'll be $20,000, and Trevor goes, oh, I can't afford that, so he goes to some random like chop shop, and then they use like the explosive dildo, and they tell him that at the end, so then you have a time limit on the mission, right? And, like the entire time, Trevor's like,
in order to make sure you completed this mission, Trevor, we've installed an explosive dildo in your prosthetic vagina.
Right.
It's like
that phrasing.
It's like
right.
It's like a hitman like mission. It's like, we've implanted this explosive into this vibrator. It's your job, 47,
to get it into the print. Yeah.
Yep.
But speaking
target eliminated.
Speaking of man-made creations beyond our comprehension, we have the return of Christopher Lee from Beyond the Grave. They're going for the new anime movie, the Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim. They're not AIing Christopher Lee's voice.
Yeah.
Instead, they're going to go back into archival footage and archival audio and just hack and slash at the bit. So he sounds like those old computer systems you'd call in at the pharmacy, like, "Hello, it is I, Saruman the Great, here to tell you about all the wonders of Middle Earth." You know, and that'll, you know, it'll be smoother than that, obviously, but I guarantee you, I guarantee you there'll be a tech that comes out and says, "No, that wasn't archival footage. We literally ran it through AI and we lied about it." I guarantee it, because there's no way that they can edit that audio to smooth him out to make him sound like he's saying anything relevant to the conversation. Because you got to remember, Christopher Lee's career most of the time took place before digital recording. And digital recording does not have that background hiss that the majority of analog recording has. And you know what? It really takes you out of the moment in the middle of an anime when you hear in the background of someone's speech. You know? It really takes you out of it.
100%. It does take you out of it. And that's where, like, I don't even know. I don't know. Like, they said they wanted to cast like a sound alike to do it, and I feel like you should have just done that. Like, to your point, Cider, the one, like, the main argument I sort of made in this article is that a lot of people were comparing this to James Earl Jones, you know, working with Disney to get his voice as AI so that they can do Darth Vader. And I'm like, no, because one, James Earl Jones knew that was coming. He lived in the era of digital everything, so he worked with you guys actively. Christopher Lee died in, like, what was it, 2012, 2013, something like that, before Amazon even bought the rights. So in his mind, Lee never imagined another project using him as Saruman
2015
ever coming down the pipe. So there's no way that's where I get weird, is like, yes, I know you got the blessing from his widow, and I know that you're not using AI, or at least you're claiming not to use AI, but also it's like, I just still feel weird about just using a dead man like that. Again, like, if you use like archival footage, that's a different thing. Like, if they're flashing back, like, you remember this fight and you show Saruman versus Gandalf or whatever, that's different. That's just flashback, right? But yeah, this is significantly weirder and significantly more different.
I think the other thing is, and I've said this before about Darth Vader stuff, is with Darth Vader, like, it's very limited. You're using it in like small increments. Like with Sauron, I don't know how they're going to do it, if they're going to use like long bites, or if they're just there's going to be like small like little dialogues, because with Darth Vader, he's not used very much in Star Wars. His voice is not used very much in Star Wars. It's just little tiny bits now.
You're right, Nerdigans. You're right on that point. But I also, like, in my head, as you say that, like, he's not used that much in Star Wars. I'm going like, that's because they didn't have his AI. Like, now they're just going to use him everywhere, right? They don't have to get Jones anymore to like record anything. They can slap a Darth Vader voice clip over like a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, and it's fine. Like, he's going to be everywhere now. We're going to get story times with Vader as like a Disney Plus series next year. Well, honestly, it's probably already in the works.
Even if they did something to that effect, right? James Earl Jones was well aware of that in his contract. You know, see, this is why Robin Williams doesn't show up in anything. You don't have these crazy AI Robin Williams doing all these crazy things all the time. It's because before he died, he did say that posthumously, you cannot reuse my work. Whatever exists, you're allowed to reprint, make all kinds of profit off of. But you are not allowed to take what exists and create new media out of that. And that saved him, because that's why we don't have a genie GPS, you know, that gives you Google directions places, you know. That's why you don't have, you know, like an AI voice changer, you know, genie, you know, all these characters he played.
I mean, he was imagine.
Right, like I was gonna bring. Yeah, that's what I was. I think you go ahead, Nerdigans. I think you're about to bring up what I'm bringing up.
Yeah, he was pissed.
You go.
Remember back in when Aladdin came out, he's like, I do not want my name on the movie. I just want, you know, the movie to be as it is. I want the movie to be remembered for what it is without my name on it.
Right. I don't want to sell it on me. Like, I want to sell it on the movie.
Yeah, and he was pissed when they found out, and that's why he didn't come back for Return of Jafar. And then they changed his mind for King of Thieves.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Meteor. Sorry, Nerdigans. I just saw it. Timon says in the chat, like the last episode of Chef in South Park, that's exactly what Saruman's going to sound like. Like, he's going to sound super like, Hello, hobbits. How are you?
Hello, children.
Even Zeno knows it too, right?
But yeah,
Kitty?
like, but that's like Nerdigans. Can you imagine just the level of like gross corporatism if they made a genie GPS from like an AI recording of his voice after he said, "Don't ever advertise with me" on it? He was already mad that they put his name on the poster back in like '94. So this would have just been just cherry on top for on the crap Sunday.
And it would be the same thing for Flubber too. Just think about it for like Flubber or for like Jumanji or anything like that.
Does anybody even remember Flubber exists? I don't even think Disney remember Flubber exists.
Well, I do because I grew
tell
up
them.
watching it. I used to watch it on VHS all the time when I was little.
They'll do a sequel where they make different colored slimes.
I thought they did a sequel.
Oh, did they? Maybe they did.
I think they.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody remembers Flubber.
And it'll be even more sexually charged than the first one.
Oh God, don't know.
But
what's the first one said? I don't remember that movie at all. I remember I watched it.
You go ahead and just watch any clip on YouTube, any single clip. And it is like Robin Williams, they handed him horny pills, and then they gave the CGI animator team behind the gloopity glop that runs around, the flubber part, also that, because that thing tries to climb up his ass 7 or 8 times in the movie. Then it's also undulating all the time at him. He's undulating back at it. It's just, and the floaty robot is trying to get him laid with his like teaching assistant.
Yeah,
he's got there.
That part.
and she ends up getting hitting the boobs with the flubber, and it makes her boobs jiggle, and then the thing does the jiggle with the boobs, and it's just the movie. They showed up ready to on that set, and someone said, "No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that," and they just spent the whole movie just being aggressively horny.
Okay, now I need to go back and watch this because I remember like these scenes in my head, but I don't remember that context. And again, probably because I was a kid, but now that's what I'm doing tonight. After
it's like seeing the hamster raping the boss of the Nutty Professor in the movie as an adult. And you're like, how did that find its way into a kid's movie?
What are we doing here?
Right?
Why are we talking about this now? Like,
you're welcome.
Hercules.
You thought you forgot about it, but
we're bringing back all the trauma. First Angela Anaconda, and then this.
Oh God, I'd already forgotten that one. Yeah, this is the worst stream we've ever done. TM.
I make you feel better. Close everything out. We've got a great little headline here that Spencer gave us here before we went live. We have the Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot claims that despite recent setbacks, the Assassin's Creed Shadows studio is working to, quote, restore the level of creativity and innovation that built our success. Now that we've already developed the game to the point where we're ready to put it on a fucking shelf, now we're going to bring the creativity and innovation back.
Now we're really going to find our core creative direction. It's so bad. Like,
yeah, it was going around a few days ago that they're not bringing this thing out till March. And I'm like, it's going to be June. They're going to run into this. They're going to have to say, we got to drop Yasuke. There's no way we can make this come out with Yasuke.
At this point, like, I genuinely believe it wouldn't be a bad bet to bet on that, right? Like, a couple months ago, I might have gone, yeah, no, they'll have to keep Yasuke or whatever. But the odds every day for me are like rising because like these guys are flailing, and I don't know what I couldn't even tell you as a player what I think would be right for them. Like I kind of am just like, you guys need to collapse.
Well, that's what happened to Firewalk. We didn't make it to this episode. We'll figure out another time to have a eulogy for Concord again. But funeral for Concord, for Firewalk. Funeral for Firewalk. There we go. Tune in some future stream. We'll do a funeral for Firewalk.
It don't need that much time.
That's the joke.
5 minutes.
That's the joke. But
we'll give it more attention than than anyone did.
Concord's fate is, I assume, on the minds of everyone working at Ubisoft Quebec today. They're saying they're getting emails from their friends from Firewalk, like, hey, we heard that things are kind of tense at Ubisoft. Do you need some help? And they're like, there's this cold sweat running down their face. Like, I don't think you can. I don't think you can help.
Dude, yeah, like, I hope everybody is like watching this with bated breath because this is the Concord failure. we have never seen anything like that. Like a $400 million game that they could not recoup anything on, and they took it down in 2 weeks. It is a piece of history. Yep. And we like sit at this precipice where it's like, do we go, okay, let's continue on in the Concord style because that clearly worked out for them, or do you go, okay, let's actually sit down and rethink all of our directions because this isn't working? And I'm assuming that the Veilguard's going to hurt it hard too. Like, you guys might see on social media and even in the Bounding comment section, a few people going, well, but guess what? You say that it's got a poor reception, that people don't like it, but it's the number one. It's a top pre-order on Steam. It's, you know, a top pre-order on Amazon. Again, guys, it has a big name on it. It has Dragon Age, so people will buy it. And also that it might get good like initial sales or like decent initial sales, but if you look at the word of mouth, there's no momentum here. Even the whatchamacallit, like the gaming press is kind of crapping all over it. There is yesterday there was an earnings call from Ubisoft, and in the during the call at one point they were asked about like, what do you think about the the future of Veilguard? We know that's coming out soon. And Yves Guillemot gives a very, standard corp. He's not going to come out and admit anything. Like, that's not what these guys do. But so he kind of just gives the, we're really excited. It's about to drop. It'll be a whole new fun game for, Dragon Age players. We think it has real big breakthrough potential. And, we think it's an excellent game altogether. And I think it was like Eurogamer reported on that. And their reporter was even like, I don't know if I would use the term like amazing game or like excellent game. You should read our review because it's not hot. So yes, we do have and Nerdigans, I think you referenced this before at the very top of the show. Mm-hmm. There is a very obvious concerted effort at some level to give Veilguard good reviews, right? Like we see it all over the place. We see it getting 5s out of 5s, 10s out of 10s, which that should just clue you in immediately to this isn't serious. Because if a game gets perfect reviews across the board, it's all hype. Most of the time, it's all hype. Like even Ocarina of Time in Famitsu, it got a 10, a 10, a 9, and a 10. It's not even a perfect scoring game. So, yeah, it's just it's all bad.
Yep, and that's that. So Ubisoft is doing their best to not be swallowed whole. Concord's out of the way.
I also wonder, Cider, because like to me, I don't know if I believe Yves here. I don't know if they're actually taking any real steps to improve the core process. Like I'm sure they're using this time to bring in more talent to work on Assassin's Creed Shadows, but are they actually changing anything at the bottom of that process? We don't know. They're just saying, we're working on it. We're working on it. We got this. We're working on it. No real game plan. Right. So to me, it just feels like a lot of like lip service. Like we won't, like, trust us, guys. We're doing great. We're listening to you. Trust us. So then it tricks like 5 people into going, all right, they listen to us. I'll buy Shadows. And that's maybe I'm just being too cynical, but I really just don't see any positives coming out of Ubisoft at all.
I don't think they're talking to consumers. I think they're talking to their investors. That's what this investors call was.
That's a good point too.
That had nothing to do with you and me as a player. This had everything to do with guys. Right. Whoa. We're a gaming company. We know what we're doing here. We put all that creative and innovation beside in order to make sure the profits flowed. Now we're going to start experimenting again, okay? And that's what all this is all about, okay? We're going to start experimenting again, right? We'll go back to the top because we're really good experimenters here. Ubisoft, the experiment of experimentation.
No, that's a really good point. So yeah, this is probably just please don't pull your money out. Please leave your money with us. Please give us more money because we're dying over here.
And that's where they're at. They're floundering. They've got to deal with the strikes. They've got to deal with the strikes not being resolved, and they've got to deal with this Assassin's Creed situation that they've dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into. And then at the end of it, they're still not done because they launched that NFT game. And If
This
you don't
is
know,
so dumb.
$60,000 on that game. You can spend $60,000 on that game buying NFTs through it.
Like, what's it called? It's called like Ubisoft. Oh no, it's not
Champions. It's the
Yeah,
Champions of something or other.
Champions Tactics, Grimoria Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are like
Witchcraft and head injuries.
Yeah, like I sort of highlighted this a few weeks ago because they were doing NFTs for a different project, but this also sort of reiterates my point. Like, who is doing NFTs anymore? This stuff is like the floor has not only like gone out from NFTs, but it went like it loopered itself. It went back in time and made sure a floor was never created. So to go at a time when everybody hates it, nobody likes it, and go, come on in. What's the mentality here? Why don't they can this like Concord and take the tax write-off or something? It's insane.
Maybe they've run out of landfill space. You know, Concord filled up most of the landfill space. They can't just get rid of it. You know,
They should just start taking Concord to like all of their booths and just making that like their giveaway swag.
I got a great idea.
Do free sunglasses.
He's okay. So while Jimmy Carr is still alive, get a photo of him holding a hammer and he builds a house with Habitat Humanity out of Concord copies. Be great. There you go, Sony. You're saving the world.
You would have saved that game right there, except for the fact that you gave it like a 2-second time limit. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Carter was dead for 5 minutes already by the time you said we need to tap it.
It's funny you say that he's dead because he just voted for Kamala, so it's like
I know that's what I'm talking about. That awful.
He just voted for Kamala, and we're still not sure if he's actually alive or not.
Yeah, does that man have a pulse? He's sleeping. He sleeps all day now.
The worst was that they wheeled him out like the day before that vote photo. I think it was on somebody's birthday.
Well, while he's like his eyes are in the back of his head, rolled up like this.
That
Like,
mouth
he's
wide
fine.
open.
So it's like
cockroach in the sun. Yeah.
So it's like even if you thought genuinely that the picture of Jimmy voting for Kamala would have been like a win for you guys, why would you immediately shoot yourself in the foot by showing like, oh yeah, here's the immediate preceding moment to that photo where he is cockroaching in the sun?
Yeah. Oh well.
Again, it's the same organization that thought it was great to have a World of Warcraft stream in 2024 to promote a vice presidential candidate.
Well, they did it again. AOC and Tim Walz on the night of Trump at Madison played Crazy Taxi on Dreamcast being streamed into Twitch, and it was god awful.
That sucks.
So Tim's not used to having people in the room. So Tim's sitting there playing Silent Timmy, and AOC is just sitting there watching because she doesn't know how to start a conversation with this guy. This is the most time she's spent in the room with him. And
oh man, I was gonna say stiff. In this particular scenario, I feel like I do have some sympathy for Waltz because he's probably like, yeah, hell yeah, Crazy Taxi, I love it. So he's just locked in, but everybody else is trying to.
Hey Kamala, I know you had a headache and had a hangover and were probably a little cock drunk when you told me that you were going to make me your VP. I could play video games. Kids like video games. I'll play video games. Ask Frida Lowe to come over. Ocasio, that's her name. Not Frida Lowe.
That's the problem. I don't even think he really care. Like they probably went, oh, Waltz, you love video games, we're gonna put you on a stream. He doesn't know like what he's supposed to do. Right?
It's true. Baron Trump is king of the internet, so
that's what I mean. I'm sure Waltz was like, oh yeah, I'll play Crazy Taxi, I love that game. So he's just happy to play. It's just not working out for them. All hail Baron Trump.
That's where it is, king of the internet. But that does it for me. Do you guys have anything else you want to?
Yeah, we are here at the top of the show, or at the end of the show, or nearing the end of the show. Anybody got any last minute stories they want to hit? Nerdigans, sounds like you do.
I actually found something that was pretty hilarious in the leaks throughout this. I was looking throughout the show. I was looking at some of the leaks, and I found this, and I was dying because we talked about how Nintendo of Europe has like this thing about racism. Well, I found this, and I'm
a second, I'll have it up.
Oh, there it is.
Just a second.
Bring it back.
There it is.
You guys are gonna die. This is considered racist.
The main
So it
character is a
says,
dark. Oh yeah, you go, Simon, you got it.
the main character is a dark-skinned girl, and the bag she carries is a racist stereotype of North American watermelon black person. This combination should be avoided. Change the color and make this bag look like a watermelon.
What?
Fix it. It says change the color and make this bag look like a watermelon.
You were mad about it looking like a watermelon.
Europeans, man. It's not racistly stereotypical enough. Do it more.
Yeah, no, seriously, what the hell?
We'll give her big bright
fried chicken.
Give her big bright red lips too while you're at it as well.
That's right.
That's why they have that. That's why they included that reference there. It's not what to avoid. This is what we're looking for.
And then it shows a mid-century, early 1900s depiction of a black girl wearing a black dress and eating watermelon, and it says
Watermelon.
"Eyes so happy" with it. She has a little baby doll next to her, and that says "Watermelon stereotype A." A racist stereotype that American blacks have an extraordinary appetite for watermelon. What the fuck?
This is what you summed it up the best, better than I could, Cider. Like, they're looking for it to be more racist. Like, this is
how they are. How activists are. They do this all the time.
Well, the phrasing is so strange. The stereotype.
I think it's AI translation. That's probably why the phrasing is a little bit weird.
The blacks have an extraordinary appetite for a watermelon, and it's like, what? It's a very strange way to phrase that.
Yeah, no, that is weird.
And the other thing is that I never put together that was watermelon. Not in a million years. If you had told me that was watermelon, I would have never put it together. It goes with her outfit.
Right. I would have been like, oh, that's a cute bag.
It looks like the colors of Africa, but the yellow has been, like Easterized, been like pasteled in order to make it girly. So she's not walking around in bright, school bus yellow. And that's what it looks like to me, is the colors of Africa that have been pastelized in order to be feminine. But
I thought it was like some reference to Palestine.
Oh, yeah. From what, 12 years ago? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But
they
I
still
saw
eat
that
watermelon, don't they? I have no idea. The Palestinian supporters, don't they use the watermelon still?
Yeah, they do. They do. I saw
That's
that
ruined everything for me. Now that I know what that is.
As soon as I saw that in the leaks, I was freaking dying. I was like, really, you're really gonna say that is racist out of everything? These people, man, they are just wild.
Well, if there's one thing that we can all agree on here on this show,
is that
down with Britain.
Yeah.
Down with the
that was a cue for cider.
There it is. Oh. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hands up.
Actually, that should be furries right there. Instead of feet guys, it should be furries.
No, the furries are in a pile out back.
Yeah, they're already dead.
They're in a pile out back.
Oh,
they're with all of Ash's Taros in the back. Exactly.
They're all with Ash's Taros.
They're in furry hell where they belong.
You don't have to say furry hell. You can just say hell.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like white heaven. There's furry hell.
Oh, right, of course.
It's a very different hell.
Furry hell is it is exactly like our plane of reality right here, except there are actual rules against wearing fursuits. So that's
I like how a black hell is just basically like a upper middle class white neighborhood.
DMV. It's DMV, but you don't have your paperwork, Jacob. You wait all this time, and you get up there, you don't have your paperwork.
Do you have two forms of identification? No.
And yeah, the hell for furries is that no. It's not that the rules against it. It's that every fur costume they find is one size too small.
No.
That's like a Twilight Zone furry thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the guy that had all the books and he broke his glasses.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
yeah.
couldn't
That's
read.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, like
It's
I had
that one,
time to
yeah.
be a furry now. I had time.
There was time to yiff. There was time to yiff. There was finally time.
I thought it would be like the HIV test because if you've seen the pictures outside.
See, that's not hell for them because they just find more friends that way. And that's what it is right there. Furry hell is every costume they find is one size too small.
One size too small. I love
So
that.
it looks like it'll fit, but it won't.
Can we do? You guys have seen Robot Wars, right? Can we do like furry wars where we just like put these people in an arena with like fire and like Sir Kill-A-Lot, and then just have them like the last person standing wins?
We should just
So
bring
what if the furry wins?
everybody.
So we got to do something if it beats the machine, man. That means it's too strong. What are we gonna do? Like
If
gas? Oop, can't say that.
Well, it'll be like the Incredibles. If they win the first match, they win whatever. Okay,
That's
we'll
hate
give them a new
speech.
fursuit, and then it goes and we go and make a new suit that's better, that's stronger.
Yeah, right. We make it one that's stronger. Right? We keep. It's like the syndrome thing from
That's
the
what I'm
first
saying. Yeah, from
Incredibles movie.
Incredibles. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, every furry it defeats, it learns from, and every furry that defeats it, it learns from. And so-
Yeah, exactly. And we have to keep improving upon the
Taskmaster.
design.
but the problem is it goes a little Skynet at the end and starts saying "ooh woo" and "daddy." So
And that leads into the sequel series where the world is taken over by anime.
by AI furries. See, this is the thing that nobody's prepared for. You're ready for Skynet. You're prepared to deal with AI hackers. You're prepared to deal with AI girlfriends. Are you prepared for AI furries?
Are the AI furries going to tell children to kill themselves too, or is that just
Probably.
We have no idea what they'll do. That's the scary thing, is that half of tech is furries. So, like, it's any guess what they're going to learn. And as we've seen, they have some colorful ideologies behind those masks. So,
I mean, we've seen furries infiltrate the gaming journalism industry. I mean, you've seen the stuff coming out of Kotaku and IGN. They're very, and I'd say even Eurogamer too with that
What are you
review.
talking about?
Have you
I
not?
legitimately don't know what you're talking about.
everybody's furries everywhere. All the time.
There's furries everywhere putting out really questionable things.
That'd be great.
I'm not
It's a
in,
furry purge.
I'm not in the weirdo community. I work at a warehouse. I've never met a furry.
Work in a warehouse.
I try to
I
spend
know
as
what you're
little
talking
time
about. I
as
work in a
possible
warehouse.
on the internet. Yeah, seriously.
Like, you got to start telling people you work at Warehouse 13, right? And so, I don't know what you're talking about.
I work at warehouse music. I work at a warehouse music store.
Oh my!
You guys
Nobody
remember?
remembers what that is. Nobody knows what that is. You and I
I
might be the
remember
only
warehouse
two
music.
people. 3 people.
I have no clue,
Start telling people, yeah, I work at Tower Records.
Jeez.
You can
You
come
work
in and
at
pre-order the
Circuit
new Green
City.
Day CD. Don't worry.
You work at Circuit City.
I work at the Sharper Image store.
Those still exist, but they're like all in airports because all the like rich Asians buy like weird massage things.
Remember when
massage
remember there was like
things.
there was like a line of people at the Sharper Image store who wanted to sit in the massage chair, so like everyone would have like 2 minutes to then sit there, then they had to get up and let the next person
They
go.
used to actually have like employees stand there and be like, "Okay, that's enough of the test for you." It's like, wow.
Remember people.
Remember malls.
Dang it, Murdigans! That's literally what I was going to say next. Remember malls? Remember
Remember hot dog on a stick? Remember how
So-
simple of a country used to be?
a true country?
Remember arcades before drug dealers ruined them all?
No, I was born in the 90s.
Yeah, to be fair, drug dealers were always in arcades, so yeah. It was
Well, that's why they were so popular.
Nintendo.
Where you think people bought weed from in the 80s, nerd?
Yeah, back in the day. Couldn't go to the dispensary. Had to go to the arcade, bro. Get it from a 13-year-old. But yeah,
So
I think with that we're delving into
imagine going to like an arcade, having to explain to a cop. It's like, no, sir, I'm not trying to meet the 13-year-old. I'm just trying to buy weed from him.
Yeah, right.
They were selling
I'm
cocaine
not
at the
meeting up
mall.
with them. I'm not meeting up. I just want the drugs.
They were selling cocaine at the arcade, at my local arcade, and that's why it got shut down.
I was about to say, like, before you said past tense, I was like, then what are you doing here? Why are you not on the show right now? Why are you not there?
They're 13-year-olds with cocaine. What are you doing?
13-year-olds with cocaine. It's like Mad Max up in there. I mean, it is California, so that makes
Well,
sense.
there actually was they're high schoolers with cocaine, but that's a richer high school. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I think with that odd detour into mall nostalgia, we can probably call it here for the night. I want to thank everybody for coming in and hanging out with us, for enduring the Veilguard talk, because that's awful. I hope you guys all had fun with Tokyo Happy Hour, with Nerdigans Insider before we hopped on. I hope you do not go out and spend your money on Veilguard or Venom 3, because it seems V is not a winning letter this month. So with that, we will sign off. I will let Cider take it away with our first guest to let us know where you can find them. Nerdigans!
Son of a
So you can find me on YouTube with my channel Nerdigans Inc., where we cover anime and manga every day. We are doing anime live reactions on Patreon, which is patreon.com/packergirl. We're covering Dragon Ball Daima and Bleach 1000-Year Blood War on Fridays and Saturdays, respectively. And speaking of Friday, I believe we are doing Pokemon Adventures with Jacob. This week we are doing Yellow arc, which is it's a really good arc if you've not read the manga. And in terms of Pokemon, on my Twitter, you could follow me right there. I am posting more Pokemon leaks. I am going through the 4chan threads, which this is where they're posting them at. And I'm finding even more and more stuff. And I will, if they have both the Japanese and the questionable translations, because some of them are AI, I will post both of them up. There's a lot of fantastic concept art that should be in art books. I don't know why Game Freak is hiding them. It's weird, but I will be posting all of that on my Twitter feed. You can also, if you help support all this, my Cash App is right there as well. In terms of bounding stuff, I'm trying, in terms of the Kim Pesh story that I'm looking into, I got to try and find the tweets of the alleged bullying that went down for, when Seven Seas released the statement. It has been hard to find those tweets. So that's why it's taking me a minute to write it, besides all the leaks and stuff. But there's more. I've got to look for a few more stories, and then I will write it, unless Spencer wants me to write the stuff on the racism and other stuff coming out of these Pokemon leaks. Which I mean,
yeah, I didn't know about it until you did the stream today. So yeah, hell yeah, I want it.
Okay, so yeah, we'll probably. Do you want us to do like a one specifically for Mega Jinx, and then like do the other stuff for Nintendo of Europe in a separate one? You think?
Yeah, probably. We'll talk strategy, but that probably sounds right. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I think. We're gonna probably do like a few Pokemon articles specifically about the censorship that's going on, because the Nintendo of Europe stuff specifically is just really, really fascinating. As you saw on this stream, it's just so bizarre. But anyways, we'll definitely be here next Wednesday, and hopefully Kitty will continue to be a good kitty, unless he has additional input, which I don't think he does right now. But anyways, until next time.
And Jacob, where do we find you out in the wild web?
I don't know. Apparently, I'm doing a show tomorrow now, so that's a thing. So
you're welcome. Ruining your life.
Go check that out. And I guess Friday I'll be back with the Pale Jewish Woman. We'll be talking about Pokemon manga. I think we're at the Yellow arc now, so we'll be talking about that one on Friday night at 7 p.m. Sunday I'll be doing a biblical review of the Conclave movie for the Bible Lens. And then next Monday, we'll be doing the bar room, not on Tuesday this week, because I'm going to be in Nashville on Tuesday. So we're doing the bar room on Monday this week. So that's everything that I have coming up at the moment.
All right. Spencer, where do we find you out on the wild web?
You can always find me on boundingintocomics.com, where we're putting up new stories every day. As soon as we hop off here, there's more that'll be coming down the pipeline. So look out for that. aside from that, you can hang out with me tomorrow on my channel Foil Variant, where I talk comic books. You can hang out with me on Friday on my channel Studio Kabuto, where I talk whatever. And then, yeah, we will let you all know what is going on or what time we'll make an official announcement about tomorrow's stream. But yes, we will be here tomorrow to host the first episode of our new series that you all demanded. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait. And yeah, see you there.
And as always, we'd like to remind you to be safe out there. It is Halloween tomorrow. There's going to be children all around in the streets, all around the sidewalks, possibly coming out of the woodwork. So please make sure that you have your head on a swivel, because parents don't these days. They're very busy taking pictures of the children, not making sure that they're safe. So if you would please extend a bit of your awareness tomorrow, and also please make sure that you're not accepting, caramel apples from people that have large razor blades sticking out of them. That would be preferential. And finally, make sure that you tune in tomorrow for Ancient Echoes. It'd be sometime in the late afternoon on the East Coast, sometime in the mid-afternoon for you folks over on the West Coast. And if you're not of this planet, it probably will bore you to death. So we'll see you tomorrow, and happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen.